Night Owls.
Turn on Night Owls.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It's the Night Owls, of course, and oh, what a day. It's Halloween. Hope you've had a really wonderful time thus far. Hope you've had the tiny weans out on the streets doing their trick and treating. Hope it went well for you. Lots of stuff to talk about tonight. We want ghosts galore. We want your ghost story. If you don't believe, we want to know why. What's the most paranormal thing ever to hit your life? We want all of those stories. What happened? Where? When? Have you come across a famous ghost while visiting somewhere? We want to hear about that too. Did you go trick-or-treating? And if you did, saw one woman and she wanted to get into the spirit of it. The little child dressed like a fairy princess, looking lovely, and the mother with the face that only a parent on a trick-or-treat night can have. And the furthest she's gone is to just paint her nose black for no apparent reason. She had a little black, like, kitten nose thing going on. And that's as close as she managed to get to a costume tonight. So I want to know your costume stories. If you've got any pictures, please send them in. Of course, tonight, 8 o'clock was the launch, the official launch of the new robsonsworld.com as well. Thanks to everybody who's been on there. A lot of people saying a lot of nice things about it. We thank you kindly for that. Let's crack on, dive in, and talk of many things. And tonight, it's all about you and your stories. Except the story isn't playing that I thought would play. However, it's just not happening. So let's try one more time. And still.
This is not a crank call.
Oh, there you go.
It physically attacks us. It just attacked my daughter. When you go to sleep at night, if you're lying on your back, around about 3 o'clock in the morning, you just hear this heavy breathing. And it's like, it breathes really heavy to just get you slightly awake. Yeah. And then once you're aware and you're awake and you hear it, the only way I can describe it is like a 12-foot man weighing about 50 stone. It slams down on you. You can't move. You're completely paralyzed. It gets in your mouth. You can't cry out or anything. And it's punching away at your stomach. It lasts for a few seconds, but it feels like hours.
There you go. A woman that we ended up having to go to the house and carry out an exorcism. Gavin Lilly wants to mention from Dave, and he remembers years and years ago when we were in the crypt, and it says from Hanrahan's. We've never done the crypt in Hanrahan's, but we have done crypts galore. Now that the spooks hopefully are out of our system, 3-year-old, if a 3-year-old tells you something, they're too young to make it up, aren't they? A 3-year-old niece who sees dead people.
Me brother, her daddy, will be getting her ready for bed and tucking her in and reading her a story, and he'll say, well, are you listening to this story then? And she'll go, yes, Daddy, but I'm just looking at the lady over there. My brother will say, what lady? That lady there in the corner.
Lovely.
And there was one day she was in the car with her mummy, and a hearse went past with a coffin in the back, and she was waving, and the mummy says, who are you waving at, sweetheart? She says, the man in the car. And Mummy looked over and she says, who, the driver? She says, no, Mummy, the man in the back.
Hey, she's quite something, this one.
There was one day she was like getting a cuddle off her daddy, who was like my mum's son, my brother, and my mum was working at chicken saying, no, that's my daddy, get off him. And she's going, no, it's my daddy. And my mum said, no, it's my daddy. She says, no, your daddy's over there. And she pointed to my granda, who's been dead since I was about 7. And she could see me mum's dad.
These are freaky things. Have you had a message from the other side? Has someone close to you passed over? And have you had a message? Tonight is your chance to get on. Tell me all about it. 0191 488 3188. And some occasions, people have actually been attacked.
So this particular night, I had to go into the mortuary. As I got in, it got very cold, so I could see my breath and everything. And anyway, but I got in, I started getting battered off the walls and everything, and I couldn't really remember anything until I got back out.
You were battered?
Just literally forcibly thrown against the walls by something. I didn't see anything.
And this is in the hospital mortuary?
This was in the mortuary,
So you're surrounded by dead bodies and you're being hurled against the wall by an invisible force?
Well, no, they were in the fridge. Shit. But I left the body where it wasn't.
No, imagine.
I got out.
Yeah, I would think he would. And then there's things that, well, can't possibly be true, can it?
I mean, what was it that you saw? You say, I'd rather not. Tell people if there is something out there. What was it?
Okay, Alan, I'll be up front. Several demons have attacked us.
Demons? What did they look like?
Well, I've been attacked by... I feel really ridiculous saying this on air, but...
No, just tell us what you feel.
I've seen several demons and that, and I've been attacked by... I've seen Beelzebub.
And what did Beelzebub look like?
Well, was it a fly?
He looked like a fly?
Well, that's what he is. That's what he is.
Right. And what sort of size are we talking?
About 3 foot tall or something, you know.
A 3 foot tall fly. There you go. And if you doubt that, you see, the interesting thing about this is you might disagree. You might say, well, that's obviously not true. I don't know how you could not believe that lady who was attacked the very first clip we played. But you only need one person out of all of these clips to be right for ghosts to exist. Sometimes, even in places like Chilean Castle, where we've been recently, you can check that out on Facebook and YouTube right now if you wish. We did Chilean Castle, and on an earlier visit, there was a miracle.
Now, while you were in that dungeon area, you could see through the hole in the floor the body of the child, and you decided to do a particularly lovely thing, and that's to put an unopened bud of a rose as a tribute to the young girl who'd passed away in agony in there on the floor. And what happened?
And the smell filled the room to the point where it was overwhelming.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that was like really, really like a payback. It was really, really weird.
That's impossible, isn't it?
Oh, it was impossible because, I mean, they've been in my bag all the time and I hadn't noticed them.
You hadn't noticed any kind of smell?
No, and then I just put them down on the grate and just the smell was overwhelming.
One single rose,
One rose.
completely filled the room with perfume.
Yeah.
Can't be done. So apart from being swooped on by hundreds of bats, what does it mean to you, Chillingham?
Yeah, there's something here, and I don't know what it is, but it'll either terrify the life out of you or completely intrigue you.
And what about evidence of a previous life?
I turned around to her and went, oh, it's the Bismarck, that I was on that when it sunk.
Wow.
And she thought, that's a bit weird. So she took all of it and showed me Grandad Jackie and went, hey, Jackie, Ben's just said he was on this shit when it sunk. So apparently my granddad looked at it. He went and got an old book, like an old war book, and opened it to a picture of the Bismarck. And apparently it was like quite accurate.
Oh, blimey. So you might have lived a previous life.
Possibly. I mean, my mum's maiden name is actually like a German name.
Well, do you think you have lived a previous life? And we'd love to hear about it. We've regressed many people over the years. We're going to be doing some more of that soon, we hope. We got a lot of things lined up. What about coincidences? And when a member of your family passes over you, have you had a message back?
So your mum was in bed, just about to pass across.
Mm-hmm.
The door opened behind you.
I went freezing cold, so did my auntie. And my auntie sent somebody behind me, and she's always sent some things, you know, I don't. But she did. So this happened at about 8:10. Now the spooky thing was, her mum died on a Friday night at 8:10. In the same way. Strange.
Isn't that too much of a coincidence?
It's too much. And you get all these people ringing up saying, there's no such thing. And how, you know, I just think myself, like, you know.
But mind you, in fairness, if things like that hadn't happened to you, you wouldn't be so sure.
True.
Because I was always a show me kind of guy, and unless I'd seen, I wouldn't have believed.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. We're going to take our first call right now. Pick up your telephone, give us a ring. 0191 488 3188. I'd love to get your call right now. Give me a ring. We will take it further, for we have much to talk about tonight. We would love to hear from you. But for now, let's kick it with one of our greatest hits, for we are Greatest Hits Northeast, Alan Robson's Night Owls. Absolutely amazing. Now, apparently there's been a Halloween event tonight, and we're hoping to talk to Trisha about this. She is in Langley Park. Don't know anything more about it than that, but we hope that we can get her on right now. In fact, let's talk to Tricia. Hi, Tricia.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Dan. Thank you for talking to us. So what's this event that's been happening in Langley Park tonight?
Well, I went to Usher Moor because there was a big event on in the gardens up there, historic gardens.
Right, uh-huh.
But getting back was a nightmare, and it was pitch black. So I couldn't walk. So I was like, oh, what do I do? I was there in my vampire costume, teeth and all.
Right. Oh, bless. Well, you made the effort. So was everybody else in fancy dress too?
Just all the kids, really. I was just like a big kid there.
Right. I know that's the best way to be. Never let that change. So why was it so difficult getting back?
I don't know, the taxis apparently in Durham are really bad, and Uber just doesn't exist in Durham, I don't think.
Right. So you had to you walked most of the way, did you?
Well, no, I couldn't walk because it was pitch black. It was like in a country lane. So I was like, what do I do? I just stood there freezing cold.
So there's a vampire down a country lane and can I have a taxi, please?
Exactly.
Yeah, and the taxi driver's presumably thinking, yeah, is this real or is it somebody winding me up on a Halloween night? So was the event good, though? Did everybody enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, the event was great. It was just the getting back was difficult. And funny enough, the taxi driver on the way there, I don't know whether he was winding us up because he told the ghost thing as well.
All right, what was that?
He said there was a building down there, not to walk that road because it's haunted by nuns.
Right,
by nuns. I was like, he winded me up.
Well, it's a perfect night to do it if you think about it. But it just adds a little bit to the atmosphere, doesn't it, on a Halloween night? That's great. Anything else, darling? Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I've always lived in a spooky house.
Right.
I don't know, just growing up, I don't know whether they follow me mum around or what. But as children, we always had experiences that were strange and weird.
Like what?
Like we had things would disappear and reappear years later.
Right.
Like my mum had her room decorated, carpets ripped up, and this ring had been missing for years.
Right.
And she got out of bed one day and it was on the floor in front of her.
Which is just not likely in the great scheme, is it? Because she would have seen that the very next day she was looking for it all that time ago.
Well, yeah, you would think so.
Right. Oh, interesting. I mean, I've heard lots of tales of strange things being moved around in houses. And I know we're all daft on occasions, finding the car keys in the fridge and everything. But, I mean, genuinely moving items of furniture, you would think, well, we'd remember carrying a chair from one room to another room. Do you know what I mean? And I've heard a lot of stories of that kind. Maybe we'll get a few more tonight. Anything else?
The TV used to switch itself on and off and over.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's a nightmare.
The light used to go on and off in certain houses.
Uh-huh.
My brother was inconsolable one Christmas because a hand apparently come out from under my bed. And he stood on it and his foot went through it.
Right. Oh, you don't want to think you've got something under your bed. That's unsettling, isn't it? Especially if you're a kid. Whoa. Right.
Toys would go off all the night. Like, electronic toys, they would go off.
Yeah.
What else happened? There was an alarm, like an old alarm that was disconnected.
Right.
And it just chimed one day. It had no wires going to it or anything.
Right, yeah, that all of this is kind of your standard spooky stuff, isn't it? Great. Did you ever get to the bottom of who was supposed to be in the house?
No, because it happened in various different houses.
Right. So you think your mum's just open to these kind of things? So they...
Yeah, I just think they follow her around.
Right. Cheapest.
And like, I've been hit on the shoulder as well by something.
Right. As a child or grown up?
No, growing up, I was sitting down in the kitchen. I was talking. My mum was there. My neighbour was there. My brother was there. And we were just chatting away. And something tapped us, and I could feel the fingers on my shoulder. It was horrible.
Right. And presumably you jumped, and then you look around. Anything there?
No, there's nobody there. And I said to them, did you just tap us? No, we didn't.
Right. Great stuff. Hey, well, thank you very much. Great way to start off. And I'm glad you got home safe and sound, because we don't want the vampires just wandering around out there. Thanks for coming on, Tricia. Great to hear from you. Thanks, darling. Bye-bye. So there's Tricia with a whole batch of stuff that happened to her. What happened to you? We mentioned before that we are Greatest Hits Radio Northeast for a reason. Halloween. When the veil between this world and the next is so thin, entities and spirits can travel from one side to the next. And if you have a place that can already do that, imagine how busy it would be. We're at Chilean Castle, one of the scariest places on earth. Do you have what it takes to join us for the entire trip? We're going in to every room, every place where there has been torture, mutilation, execution, starvation, where people have died, people have been judged, and people have been murdered. We're going to reach out to them and see if they will come and talk to us. And we want you along for the ride, if you dare.
Jesus Christ! No way. There's definitely Alan. There's definitely somebody in here. No,
Come down. No,
I can't.
Come down.
Down where? Down there? I'm not going down there.
Okay.
Well, I will.
It popped a light bulb or something.
Yeah, the light bulb popped or something.
Fell. Holy
Christ!
I'm crying.
I have to say it was sort of man-sized, dashed out of the archway, along the lost side of it, but it moved along rapidly. It moved out of the doorway, through the doorway, it went onto the balcony maybe a few feet, and then I saw it that was it, gone.
So first hour in there, and you've seen a ghost.
I can't think of any explanation for it.
Now, you're a psychiatric nurse.
Yep.
You're not prone to flights of fancy here.
No.
It was in the distance.
Right.
And then I could hear it getting closer and hear it. And then, you know, when you're aware that somebody is around you, say if you're in a room on your own and somebody comes in and you're aware that somebody's came in, and I could hear and feel that it was there, and I could see a dark shape, and by that point I just screamed to be out.
Alan, there's all sorts in there. There's just stuff up and down touching you.
You felt something touching you?
Oh, there was backwards and forward shapes, and something was touching us, and there was knocking, and there was voices coming from the chapel.
I can hear people behind us as well. But that's... Oh, it's moving. It's coming.
At Pabio, we believe colors are way more than pigments. We believe color...
Come on, if there's something here, talk to us. You're our first room.
I think you've got your answer.
What the hell?
I think you've got your answer.
That's weird down there, isn't it?
Yeah, there's nobody near it. There's nothing quite as creepy as the Witchy Woods. Look at that. Look at that twisted, tangled tree.
Look at that.
And of course, it's said that some of the mounds here, particularly mounds near the entrance where the old chapel gate was, which is just up there, it says that some of the mounds that you have on the ground are where they've just clawed earth over the bodies of witches that they've killed here by pinning them. Oh, another bat there.
Seen it, yeah.
But what they used to do, they would get a witch, because if you kill a witch, 10 times her pain becomes yours. So what they used to do was they'd either tie her to a tree like this. Now that allowed any man to do anything to them that they wished. So if they weren't witches, the kind of atrocities done to them are just to be thought of. But they'd tie them to a tree and pin them. So rather like a crucifixion, they would put pins through their hands into the tree, and quite often on the older trees higher up you can still see where the tree has healed itself, but you can see the pin marks, because if nature killed a witch, well, that's all right, but if you killed a witch, 10 times their pain you shall suffer. but they pinned a lot here, and you can tell. You can just tell. So, on we go.
Look at that! Look!
What?
There's a mist here! Look at that! You must see that!
It's over the lake.
Oh my God!
It's over the lake. You see it?
Look at it!
It's going behind the trees.
It's everywhere!
Oh, there it is on top
There.
of the lake. That's ridiculous.
I can't understand that. Seriously, look! You must see that!
What?
You must see that!
What?
There!
Oh, over the water. Are you getting it, Tony?
It's floating!
Are you seeing anything right now? Look at that. Look! Do you see it moving?
You've got to see that moving.
Can you see it moving?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the torchlight. On the big screen, hopefully they can.
Oh, hell.
Oh,
Oh,
you
look,
can
it's just
see
over the
that,
water. just
man.
down there.
Look!
It's just pretty black.
And it's gone.
To pick things up.
No, there it is.
It's there.
There it is.
It's moving on the lake.
If there's anyone here, we're just leaving. Talk to us now. Make a noise. Let Kenny's gadget light up.
Putrid smell.
Horrible smell.
Yeah, you getting that too?
A putrid
Oh,
kind
back
of.
again, man. It's up here, look. Next to you.
What's that smell?
I've got that like a decaying flesh smell.
That's exactly the smell it is, vile.
Isn't it?
It wasn't nice. Wasn't either of you, was it?
No.
No.
Oh. In all directions too, that's the thing. Look at those witch mounds. There's trees growing, I presume, out of people's...
There was a low thud. Like a dull, low thud.
A dull low noise, right. Heard a slight noise up there.
Yeah? Whoa.
The bat's just missed Kenny's head by about 3 inches.
Just give that just a quick burst again.
Let's give it another try. Oh, stop.
Stop.
Why do you want us to stop?
The others. The others out.
Who are the others? You want the others out too? Why do you want them out? Why do you want the others out? Speak to us. That was clear.
Very clear. Normal.
You want things normal. That means you don't want us here. Are you glad that we're here to see you? Yeah, I think so. Will you always stay here? Yeah. Do you not know where to go? Do you not know how to move to the next place? Oh, look at this. Just opening wider. You don't understand. Because she doesn't know how to move on, she stays here. Are you comfortable here? Yeah, you're comfortable. Well, we thank you. We thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for sharing. We really appreciate it. Do you mind if we keep looking? Is it okay for us to look around some more? Because this is your home. Can we stay here a while? Yeah. Yeah. No major objection. Blimey.
This is Night Owls on Greatest Hits Radio.
You never know who's going to call next.
0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
You are with the Night Owls. Alan Robson with you. Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Thanks for joining us all day today on Greatest Hits. We've been slamming at you the Werewolves of London and all those classic Halloween tracks. Got to share one or two more of them. One or two are my favourites in the show tonight. So get ready for that. But more importantly, it's always down to you. So let's get our next caller on, and that is Ant, who's in Washington. Hi, Ant.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate. What can we do for you tonight?
Well, I just want I'll give you a call because it's Halloween. It is, and I work for a company called Spirit Seekers. I've been on a few times in the past.
Right.
And it's just about a few of the experiences that we've had with the company.
What's the most vivid one then, Ant?
So the most vivid one is the Aircraft Museum.
Right.
So we're there quite regular. The best thing I think that's ever happened on anything I've done is I had a group of about 8 people one night.
Right.
And we went into the main hangar.
Yes.
Which is hangar 1. And we walked in, and there was two in front of us, but I didn't really see where they'd went.
Uh-huh.
So we walked in, and then right at the front of the hangar, I was talking to what I thought was the woman who had walked in front of us.
Right.
There was 6 people with me at the same time.
Right.
So I was talking, getting no response. And I was like, right. So I was like, got nearer and nearer until I was a few yards away. And this is talking a full person. I could even tell you what she was wearing.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, myself and the 6 people behind us seeing the same thing. She just vanished totally in front of us.
The great thing was that everybody saw it, though. That's the deal.
Yeah. Everybody saw it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a really quiet night.
Right.
We just had 10 minutes of absolute chaos, we'll say.
I would imagine everybody would run like a bomb had gone off.
Not really. I think everybody just stood there in shock.
Right.
Because I couldn't believe what. I mean, as I said, I could tell you what she was wearing. It was a green coat. She had like a blouse thing underneath it.
Right. Was she
really
a young
long
woman
skirt.
or young woman, old woman?
She was, say, about middle age.
Right.
I wouldn't want to say old because.
Right.
But
you didn't recognise her as one of your party, though.
No, I did because the figure looked the same as somebody in my party, and because the woman in my party had a long green coat on.
Right.
Well, what I can only describe after you think about it was it was a green coat, but it was quite long, but not as long as the woman who was it. But because it blended in with, it was like a skirt she had on.
Yeah. And also, you got to remember that you'll also have been in the dark or darkish when you were in there.
Oh yeah. It was dark, but you could still kind of see.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So it was just a right weird one. But then 5 minutes after that, we the whole group went around the corner,
right?
And then we were talking to the other woman, and then we got a bit spooked because we heard something behind us.
Right.
And everybody spun around and seen what they can only describe as a 7th shadow just dart into the middle of the plains.
Right.
And then when that darted into the middle of the plains, loads of stones just came flying over.
Crazy, isn't it?
So yeah, it's just. I mean, it's a great place to go.
No,
I mean,
is.
I know you've been a few times yourself.
Yeah, we've been a couple of times, and again, always with a result of some kind.
Yeah.
And it is the weirdest place. I know that the place where the helicopter is, where the guy lost his legs. I know that's probably the most famous story from the Aircraft Museum. But when you sit in there, where the guy was who lost his legs. There's just something tangible in there, isn't it? There's a
I mean, obviously it's hard, but like when you're in an event, you don't really get the chance to go on your own.
No, I understand that.
But I've done it on my own, and sitting in there, it is.
You get it, don't you?
Yeah, and it plays with your head a bit as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's one of those things that if you're open, and I know a lot of people don't know how to be open because they go into ghosty places kind of already shut down. You know, they're already closed for business. But if you go in openly and you open all your senses and all your emotions, if you can, sometimes you can go into places and you feel an emotion that seems to be trapped where it is, whether it's pain or fear or love. I mean, it's really strange because I've been in some haunted places that feel loved, if that makes sense. But I've also been in others that make you think, I really feel the need to get out of here in a hurry. So what kind of feeling like that have you had, and where was it?
So I would say, actually, it was a place in Hartlepool. I'm trying to think. I think it's called the Studio now, but I'm not too sure the story behind it.
Okay.
And I had a bit of a free night where I could just go along and do my own thing.
Right.
So at first I went in. I wasn't really feeling much, if I'm honest with you.
Mm.
And I thought, right, I'll go into the basement and I'll just sit in there for a bit and just see if anything happens.
Mm.
And then what I can only describe as absolute utter fear came through us, and I had it all on video.
Right.
So I was sitting away from the door, and I had another guy who was sitting upstairs watching us on a live feed.
Right.
And I was sitting away, got the full door, because the only way I could really view, because behind us was a wall, and the two sides were walls.
Mm-hmm.
So if you imagine there was a door, there was a stairway, and then it was just like a little hallway outside.
Right.
So I was sitting down there, and at first I was like, it's a bit creepy, and then all of a sudden I just heard footsteps, and I was like, right. So I was shouting at the guy who I thought it was.
Right.
Nope, and got no response. Now this door could only close if I closed it.
Right.
So then I was sitting there, and all of a sudden this door just starts closing, just on its own.
Yeah.
But because I was too far away from it, I couldn't get to it to keep it open.
Right.
And so I just started panicking in fear, and I had to shout at this guy who's upstairs watching us just to come down and get us. And he's had to come and physically open the door because I was just trapped in there.
Brilliant. I mean, that's what you go. I mean, I say brilliant. At the time, you were like wetting it, but that's what you. That's what you go for.
You're right.
That's what you go for.
I mean, just another one off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Vane Tempest Hall in Durham.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, so when we do the event, we get access to a sports hall, and then another room at the end, and then there's a long corridor.
Right.
Now, there we don't take many people because we don't get much access. But one night, we had things like leaflets and stuff flying about. So, and this was in the corridor. So I thought, right, we'll just investigate there. And I had every single customer who was there on the event in the corridor.
Right.
And what I can only describe as a roaring sound came all the way down the corridor, and every single customer, and you always say at the start of an event, do not run. Right? I've never seen customers run so fast in my life to get out of a building. I think everyone just need about 10 minutes, and then like me and the other guy who were working, we're like, right, well, we'll like have a check round.
Yeah.
And we'd went into one room on the right hand side of the building, and there was just a woman just sitting there, and she said I couldn't run because I heard the noise and I was too scared
to run. Right. Bless her.
Yeah.
It's
so
really reassuring for her that even the people organised it will have legged it as well. That's funny.
Well, I mean, we didn't. We we kind of just stood there in shock, saying, "Well, what's happened?"
Yeah.
And then when everyone went outside, we thought everybody had went.
Sure. So you're just rounding them up like sheepdogs.
Yeah. So we were like rounding them up outside. I was like, "Oh, hold on, we're like missing somebody." So I went back in. I was like, "You can come with us," because I don't know what that was.
Right.
And then just found this woman in the room saying, I didn't move because I didn't know what was happening.
Brilliant.
Funny though.
Hey, no, it's good. So, well, keep on keeping on, Ant, and thanks for sharing your stories with us. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How about that? Some spirit seekers out there doing their thing. A lot of people up to it. We're getting some fantastic results to the left and to the right. What have you seen? Give us a call, 0191 488 3188. We're back after this.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Advertising on Google without ad protection? You have to try Clixies. Every time a competitor
Well, welcome everybody. As you can probably gather, it's Halloween. It is that week, that great time. And we're not alone. You may not realise, but we've already had a couple of amazing hours around and about Chilean Castle. So we had to come and do the inner workings, the oubliette, the Great Hall, the chapel, the Minstrels Gallery, the museum. There's the Edward Room, where King Edward stayed, Longshanks, the Hammer of the Scots. But this is the torture chamber. And we brought somebody to torture. It's Christine, is our special guest. Hi, Christine.
Hi.
First of all, thank you very much for coming out.
No bother, I'm really excited.
Now, have you ever done a ghost hunt before of any kind, or have you just visited places during the day?
We've done ghost hunts on the night, but just like amateur ones with my friends and family.
Right. Had any success?
Yeah, we've seen like loads of stuff, but they're always too scared, so...
Right. Now, you arrived quite early, and we had to place you in a dark room on your own for an hour.
Yeah.
You had an experience in there. What was it?
Well, I was sitting in the chair, and I could sense somebody like behind us, like staring at us all the time.
Right.
And I had to keep looking, like turning around, and every time I turned round, it was like darker, as if there was like something there.
A darkness that's darker than the dark around it.
Yes,
That's exactly it, yeah.
It's exactly what it was like, yeah.
So you've had your first flavour. Were you not frightened? Are your heart beating not a...
Oh, no, I love it, it's fascinating.
Right, okay, well, we're in for a fascination. We're in this particular chamber. This is, of course, the famous Iron Maiden. And if you have a look inside it, you can see how it operates. It can't open, but if you take a look in, you'll see there's spikes at head level. Here.
Alan Robson's Night Owls now.
0191 488 3188.
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Alan Robson with you. So we have people to talk to. So pick up your telephone, give us a ring too. Chris waiting for you on 0191 488 3188. Let's go and see Celia, because she's breaking my heart. In fact, she's breaking my confidence daily. Hi, Celia.
Hello.
Hello, sweetheart. You've got a story from overseas. That's a good thing. Do tell.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Right.
While living in Dubai, my husband booked one night in the QE2.
The QE2?
Yes.
Wow. So what happened?
Actually, when we arrived in the room, I saw woman's name on the television. You know, when you go to when you check in, they put your name, welcome.
Yes, welcome
Mr.
Celia.
Yeah, whatever. And then it was a woman's name.
Right.
And I said to my husband, "Are you sure we got the right room?" And he said, "Yes, of course, we've been upgraded."
Right.
So anyway, I forgot all about that. We went out for a meal, and then we come back to the room and went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was desperate to the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what time. I think 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, blame me. Right. Uh-huh.
So I get up, went to the toilet, and then went back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turn around, and I sleep on the left side,
Okay.
And I saw a light, and then there's this woman just walking back and forward.
Right.
And I just like, oh, who is she?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
it's just me and my husband in the room.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't move, and I was just watching her back and forward.
What did she look like, Celia?
She looks in her 70s.
Right.
She had her hair up, white hair, and she had a white night dress.
Right.
And I was just like, what it is,
Right.
And she looked at me, but she wasn't scary looking woman.
Right.
She's so friendly, she's like smiling at me. But I couldn't move. Honestly, I wanted to move to next to my husband. so at least I know that he's awake. If I touch him, he will be awake and I'll be okay. But I couldn't, and I was just watching her walking back and forward until she disappeared.
And she did she turn to smoke? Did she just all of a sudden wasn't there? How did she disappear?
She just slowly disappeared.
All right.
I look, and my eyes is so wide open, right? And I just looking at her movements, and then suddenly she just gone. And that time when she gone, I moved. My body just suddenly, and I moved next to my husband, and he was like, "You're not really like to be close to me."
Yeah,
You know?
he's probably saying, "Oh, what now? What are you doing?" All that
I
kind
know.
of thing.
And I couldn't see anything because he might think, "Are you sure?" You know, I wait for a while until like we properly wake up, and I said to him, "Can you remember when I close to you?" I said, "I saw an old lady," and he said, "No." I said, "Yes, she looks like real, honestly, and I can still see her until now, 2 years after."
You should have got out of that bed and invited her in. That would have woke him up.
Oh my God! Honestly, I don't know, because I was scared. I couldn't move at all.
Frozen in fear.
I was just like frozen.
Yeah. What a
And then-
fantastic story. I wonder if they get many stories like that on the board, because obviously the QE2 is a classic vessel, isn't it?
Yes, actually that day, because it was bugger in my head, I went and Google it. History.
Did you find anything?
It says that there was a few old passengers died in that QE2.
The QE2.
So I'm guessing she was one of it in the room that where we staying.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, with a lot of people, and a lot of older people tend to take cruises because obviously they don't have to walk quite so far. Yeah, they're getting everything on board the ship pretty much. You would imagine that people dying would be just part and parcel of life on board. Whether I know it's a sad thing to say, but it must happen, I suppose. And you met one.
I do actually. I don't know. Maybe she chose me. I don't know why it's me. I don't really like to see things like that. You know, I'm terrified of ghosts.
Right. Well, you've got good right now because they know where you live. You got to be careful. Could have followed you home. Who knows? Hey, that's a great story, Celia. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. Thank you, darling. How good was that? Hey, she's excellent. Celia there, not quite in Dubai. She's in Rollins Gill. But how great to have an experience on the QE2. Makes you wonder, like the Orient Express. Has anybody seen something on the Orient Express? Because you'd imagine that, again, like any carrier of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, you'd imagine there would have to be some tragedies around there. Anyway, let's head across to Sue, who's in Jarrow. And she's talking about a very, very famous book all about exorcism. And I think we're going to be talking to her. And in the meantime, while we're waiting to get her on board, how about being chased out of a house?
It's really frightening. You're actually asleep and you wake up and somebody's actually sitting over you in bed. It frightened us out of the house at like 3:30 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? And we're like, oh.
Yeah, I bet.
We didn't actually know like what to do at the time. Well, I did actually see a priest. I mean, we had the house blessed. It really hit home.
Because that's what happened to you. The bed was flung all over your bedroom.
That was it. And somebody who was in our house and they said, oh, it's all superficial sort of thing. And we're saying, well, no, that's what actually really happened to us. I mean, I've woke up and somebody was actually in the room with me.
People won't believe you.
Exactly.
What message have you got to give to those people now?
What does it actually take for you to believe things that do happen?
There you go. What does it take? What has changed your mind about it? Now, a lot of people say, but if you're visited by friends or if you're visited by family, surely that makes it all right.
In the bathroom, washing my hands, you can see her bedroom,
right,
just across the way. Just caught my eye. She was actually sitting on the corner of the bed. As real as anything.
Wow.
turned away to dry the hands, turned back, gone. But there was an indentation on the corner of the bed. So I went over and it was still warm.
Oh, wow. That's brilliant.
Still warm. You know, she was as real as, you know, anybody else.
Oh, wow.
Fully clothed, you know.
How wonderful.
That was just weird. You know?
I would imagine you'd have like a mixture of feelings there. First of all, a bit of a cold chill up the back of your neck, but there's the woman that I love.
That's right.
Ah, how beautiful. The fact that you went the extra yard to touch, you know, just to make sure.
Yeah.
That just adds to the proof of it, you see.
Yeah, it was still, if somebody had really sat there.
Yeah. Well, how does that make you feel, knowing that you're still about?
Strange.
Right. How about that? Amazing. Have you had a similar experience with someone who's crossed over? Did you get a message, and how sure are you that message was from them? Let's talk about it. Now, we have Sue from Jarrow, I think, up next. Let's talk to her. Hi, Sue.
Hello.
Hello, darling. So what story have you got for us tonight?
Well, sorry, I'm just plugging my phone in because that is going to die.
Okay, right.
Well, as it's Halloween, I thought I'd tell you a spooky story.
Please do. Let's have it.
Right. Well, this is about a healthcare worker.
Right.
Who should poorly all her life, going back and forwards to the doctor.
Right.
Not getting any help and not knowing why. Working in end of life, dementia, care homes.
Right.
Over the years. And one day a doctor overdoses her, and another doctor sprays her in the face, and she almost dies.
What?
And she keeps trying to get help and report it, but she keeps getting ignored. She pays for a private scan and finds medical devices inside her that she gave no consent to, and she realises that the care homes were full and the population is full of these devices because they've been using these devices in over 300 different operations worldwide, and they're made from petroleum byproducts, not inert in the human body.
So what are these things doing to the people then?
Well, the implants are made from petroleum and they're not supposed to be in the body. So your body's always going to try and attack it. And what happens is it cultivates an antibiotic-resistant biofilm. And that biofilm, if it catches an infection, it propagates.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So when she thought about being sprayed in the face deliberately, it infected the biofilm and it propagated.
Right.
You see. So that meant it infected the implants in the pelvis. That's transverse myelitis.
Right.
Sepsis even, you know.
But if she found these things and she didn't give any permission for them to be placed in her body, surely she could then just ring the police and claim assault, because that's what that is, isn't it?
Well, that's what she did.
Right.
But the police said, phone a solicitor.
What?
She even told them about the care homes. That was ignored. She even went through all the system, from councillors to MPs to PALs to Age Concern to Blissability, all of them who are supposed to help. Citizens Advice Bureau,
and
newspapers.
And
the newspapers even rang her, the Observer. She gave them the full story nearly 2 years ago.
And they presumably didn't use it. Did they think that she wasn't fully compos mentis?
Well, I know it sounds outrageous and it sounds unbelievable, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But when the proof's there.
Well, this is the thing. So what proof did she actually have then?
Well, the implants was one.
Right, but did she have an implant? Did she have proof of an implant?
Oh, yes, she paid for a private scan and found them herself.
Right, but that finding them on a scan Does that necessarily mean she knows what they are? And how did she know,
Well,
for
the
example, they
doctor-
were made of the petroleum thing that you said?
Yeah,
You'd
the
have to get
doctor
them out
told
for
her.
that, wouldn't you?
Well, the doctor told her what they were, who done the scan.
Right.
You know?
How could he tell they were made of petroleum if he didn't get one out?
It was
though?
the operation that they were, you know,
Right,
where they were
okay.
placed and what they were for.
Right.
It explains what they are.
Sure. Okay.
So, like, there's a lot, when you think about it, people who've had hernias, appendix, heart operations, everything, C-sections, hysterectomies, might have this.
Yeah, because let's face it, when you're out, you're out. You don't know what people are doing to you once you've been
Yeah,
knocked out for any
and
operation, I suppose.
On its own, the biofilm on its own destroys stomach enzymes, attacks the immune system. So depending on the person's weakness is how they're going to suffer. So they could get an autoimmune disease, they could get cancer, they could get cardiovascular, heart attack, stroke, just from the implant alone.
What do you think the reason was for these people being given these things? Is it just trying to thin out the population? I mean, what other function could there be?
Big Pharma, you know, they've infiltrated NHS with these devices. They've been subsidising our doctors and surgeons, you know, come to this big conference in Miami and have a holiday and promote this and use this.
What you mean, the
in
big
your
the big
hospitals.
pharmaceutical companies you're talking about?
Oh, yes, Johnson & Johnson, Boston Scientific, Pfizer, all of them.
Well, I hear what you say. I can't talk about individual large companies like that because you've mentioned them and you claim to have proof, but I don't know whether you have proof or not. So if any of those companies wish to come on and have a right of reply about any of that, I would be very interested to do it. We can't continue to call for that reason. You can talk about anything. If she'd have said, and the big pharmaceutical companies, yeah, well, that would have been okay. But she named specific names, and I can't prove it. I don't know whether she can prove it, and I don't want to stand side by side with her in court. So let's just move on and talk to somebody else about other things. If anything like that ever was to happen, it's a terrifying and a scary thing. Going to have a piece of music right now because we are Greatest Hits Northeast. It's a sin. It is Pet Shop Boys, absolute classic. A genital level, and the idea would be they'd put you in there, close it shut, and essentially, slowly but surely, you would bleed out. So many things in here. If you look up the top, you find the cages, you find the bear traps that were quite often set for escaping Scottish people. They'd put you in there till all the skin fell off your bones. They'd break your back on the wheel. They'd put you in a tiny little cage. Sometimes a woman with 15 to 20 men. You could just imagine what that would be like. And before even Vlad Dracula Impaler, they were impaling people on stakes. Before Vlad. That's incredible. Here. Now, the thing they don't tell you about the stakes, they don't sharpen them. Here, they've kind of sharpened the point. The whole idea of a stake, though, the way that it became to be used throughout history, it was blunt at the end. And they placed it in the anus. And they arrested the man so that he could kind of firmly hold his weight until gravity eventually pushed it further and further down until it either came out the top of his skull. Quite often, it came out through the throat and out of the mouth. So that's here. Another cage. When they caught pirates particularly, or highwaymen especially in this area, they'd put them in one of these, and sometimes locals who were friends would come and feed them, give them drinks and give them water. Anybody that did would be put into prison themselves. So eventually, however long it took, they'd start to die, they'd start to starve to death, and their bones would be left and the flesh would fall off, and dogs would come and tug away at any flesh, birds would peck, insects laying eggs inside them. So as you see around here, there's just devices of every kind. Headsman's axe, headsman's block, right here, and a basket to catch your head. One of the worst ones is this thing here. I don't know whether you can see it. This is, oh, just caught a bit of a cool breeze there. This, it's just a cauldron. You'd think, well, what can you do with that? Well, why has it got this metal thing on the top? Because they used to put people in it with boiling water and boil them alive until all of the flesh and skin came off their bones. And people were desperately trying to get out and reaching out to try and save themselves. But it's just an awful way to die. But as I say, in all directions, we've got over here, is this the chair with the, yes it is. They've put bones on here so people don't sit on it, because people did. You can see all the spikes. They would put somebody's hands into these, lock them on, sit them down under the spikes, like you would do with a Sunday roast, for exactly the same reason. So you could start peeling layers of skin and flesh off them without them being able to move. Oh!
The doll's flashing already.
She's just gone off there. So there's stuff in here. I felt a cold, something just moved by me before. There's the...
Turn your thing off, because it's...
Oh yeah, it's, I know.
It'll be coming over the...
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's close to your mic.
My apologies for that if we overwhelmed you with sound. Over here, this is the rack that John Sage, who was the torturer here, he's got an amazing story. I will tell you the story. This is the rack that he used to romance Elizabeth.
Doll's gone off again.
Doll's gone too.
Do you want to explain what happens?
Yeah, this is a doll that Tony bought, and it's 127 years old, and we use it to try and attract we try to get it to attract child spirits that want to play with the doll. And if an energy gets to touch it, but it physically needs to be touched to go off, this happens. There's a child playing with it now. Are you enjoying that? Are you playing with us? And it's a little girl. It's a little girl. I wonder if it's Eleanor. Little Eleanor's a child spirit. Is that you, Eleanor? It's supposed to only go off for 2 seconds. Is that you, Eleanor?
I think it is.
We've got you. Hello, darling. You can play with us. It's fine. Thank you for being here. Now, John Sage was the torturer here. I'll tell you why he was a torturer very soon. But he used to romance his girlfriend, Elizabeth Armstrong, on here. And he used to do that thing during sex where you do a bit of strangulation to get a bigger kick or a bigger thrill, and he ended up killing her.
Someone wanting to talk to you.
Yeah. Is that you? Is it you? It's Eleanor, isn't it?
Whoa.
Hang on, I'm just going to have to check that out. See if it's one of ours. There's nobody here. There's nobody here. Can we shut this or not? No. Sorry, Eleanor. I'm back. Do you want to talk to us? Do you want to talk to us, Eleanor? Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Oh, hang on, it's one of us. That's Richard. It's Richard. Was that you before?
There is a cold air though now.
Oh, it's both of the guys. We've just been talking to Eleanor. The ball's been going off. It's Eleanor.
Eleanor's a little child.
I know. She's been here. Been playing with us, haven't you, Eleanor? You going to play? I know there's a lot of people here. It's more than normal. Would you like to play with us, Eleanor? Now you've got the night vision here, Tony.
That's for when we put Christine on our own somewhere.
You mean here?
Well.
There's a chair there, but you can't sit on it. Right. Well, the thing is, this is Halloween. So, Christine, how do you feel about being alone? We've already had activity. We've already had noises, and I know the guys came through there, but before that, I was in there and there was noise happening. Did you hear it too? Eleanor's playing again. Eleanor's firing again. Now, can you remove that, Richard? Sorry to bother you, just so we've got a place for Eleanor to sit. And you've seen how the place is. So, Eleanor, you're going to have company, my love. Christine's going to stay with you. Christine, would you? I don't know whether you want to.
No, that's fine.
It's all right. It's not dusty. It looks dusty, but it isn't.
Easily create your next video. Motionary offers you more than 500,000 templates, music, stock footage.
Can we? We're going to. You've already got the camera on you, so anything that happens here, we'll see.
No, this is the night vision we need on.
All right. Okay.
It would be good if we put the chair next to the doll, because if the doll lights up.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. Oh, there, it's only there.
Just call me a props guy now. I don't know. Blame it's off again. Eleanor, you're toying with us, lass. You're just playing with us. There you go. It's solid. The other side, yeah. Now the thing is, there is ear light. Oh, she's back again. My goodness. Absolutely. We're going to leave a night vision camera on so that we'll be able to pick up anything that happens in and around you. There's a microphone on on her chest though as well, isn't it?
No. This is what I'm going to put on her. That's just the body cam, not sound.
What, so she can't move around? Is that what you're saying?
This is the wire. She can move around as long as this wire.
Right. So just be try not to. Oh, she's off again.
Well. It's quite a long wire. This.
No, you need to touch it to make it go off. Is the thing. You feeling any coldness? It's freezing. There you go. Right. So once we get Christine in place, Tony gets his spaghetti sorted out.
Yeah, can I just take that camera off here? Give me that one, and then...
Let's have a look.
I'll flip this on here. Just got to do my phone.
It's flaring, isn't it? She just wants to play with it, little Eleanor. How nice is that? Still wish we could have got that light off.
Yep, we're on.
Better. I've gone through all the plugs. We can't find the plug for it.
No, it's on
there. Yeah, and it ends up down there, but I've switched them both off and it's still happening.
You've got a little bit of wire there if you want to get it moved around a little bit.
Do you just want Christine to sort of describe what she feels?
Absolutely. I mean, you're mic'd up, Christine, and it's looking good. While you're in here, use all the senses to work out what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling. If you're picking up any emotion, if the thing goes off, tell us.
Sorry, that was
that's
just
you.
The body cam.
Right. So, Christine's in there. So let's dive back into the calls. Once I've given you the first clue. Now, we've been playing a new game in the last month or so called Who's Hits? Who's Greatest Hits, really. I'm going to give you 4 clues. Each clue is to a song title, a song that has been a greatest hit. Okay? So you have 4 hits. Once you find out the name of those hits, tell me who the hit maker was. whether it was an individual or a band, whoever the artiste is, do tell. Your first clue is, you had a roll in the what, you idiot? Ooh, complicated that. You had a roll in the what, you idiot? What do you have a roll in? And another word for you idiot. Angela Maria Thompson-Gray with a hyphen says, Alan, I was there the year it all went wrong. Ended up back at the studio eating raw chilies with a new tongue piercing back in the 90s, and I won a nipple clamp thing. Yeah. Long story for that one. We went up to do a ghost hunt with a whole batch of people, and it was going to be great because there was one woman who was terrified of moths, and we'd bought handcuffs so we could handcuff her to a tree with a spotlight on her head so that every moth in Northumberland would come and visit her. Never got the chance because the signal, as soon as we got there, the signal just wiped out. We couldn't send anything back to the radio station. So I broadcast on the telephone from the car I was in all the way back to the radio station, and there was a whole convoy of cars behind, and all of the food, the medieval food that we had to share, we were eating snake, worms, cockroaches, long before I'm a Celebrity. We did all of that back in the day. And she had a new tongue piercing, so you can imagine the agony that she went through. You see, you did good, though. What an experience. You were the forerunner of I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here. There you go. Which is coming back on. I saw the lads plugging it. Alan from Durham is up next with Tales to Tell. It's Halloween. We want your tale too. Give us a bell. Hi, Alan.
Hello, good evening. Thanks for having us on.
No bother. What's your story, mate?
Yeah, sure. So whenever Halloween comes around and I get on talking, and I kind of always remember something which happened probably about 20 years ago now in Burtley.
Right.
So long story short, at that time I was in the police and we got called to report of a suspicious man who was in the rear of St. John's Church in Burtley.
Right.
So about 3 of us went to the job. Early hours in the morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
It's quite dark. And we made a search and we couldn't find anybody. So what you would do next is get back onto your control room and ask them to speak with the caller to see if they can still see the person they called in about. And what happened next was there was 3 of us. So one of the team actually went to the nearby address to speak with the callers direct. And what they did, they went up to the bedroom and looked out of the window with the caller. And so that left me and a colleague still in the churchyard.
Right.
Then over the radio, we got contact, and what we asked, the message was something like this: lads, can you both just put your hands up in the air? Which we did. So at this point, we were stood probably to the northeast corner of the church,
right,
towards the rear, and we both put our hands up in the air. He says, right, I can see you two. He says, but you've definitely got a guy standing to your left with a hooded coat on.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
And we looked to our left, and there was nobody there.
But they could see them from their viewpoint.
They could see. And then the next message was, the guy's now moving away from you. Now, at that time, from memory, there was a small wall actually went around the church.
Right.
And in this northeast corner, there was a gap, there was a bush, and there was a little, I'm sure there was a light of some kind.
Right.
So we could actually see the gap. Our colleague was telling us this guy was making towards.
Right.
But there was no one there. And so we walked to the area, found the gap in the wall. We had our torches, and we made another search, and we found nobody. So following that, we regrouped at the caller's house.
Right.
And went through it all again. And there was no doubt that 3 people had seen a man in a hooded coat.
Right next to you.
Right next to us. So when we said, how close was he to us? He said, well, where you were stood, literally, it was about 20 feet to the wall.
Right.
And he was standing right behind you. And even when we, because with our hands in the air,
right,
he was still there, whoever this person was.
Right, they were just doing that so that they could differentiate between the three figures they could see.
Yeah, they could see three, and so that was two, and
whatever that was,
whatever else they could see. And we even went up to the bedroom window to look out, to try and work out, was it like an optical illusion or what? There was no answer. So in answer to the, obviously in the Chronicle this week was, have you got any stories to tell?
Sure.
That's kind of one of the ones that I always relate.
Brilliant.
I haven't seen anything odd myself or anything like that.
Right.
But clearly I had three people who could see something.
That's just amazing. But you see, those kind of things are quite few and far between where you can get verification instantly, because the police officer could see them along with the two people in the household. So they were all clear. For a moment, when the guy says, put your hands in the air, I was hoping it was going to be YMCA, but it wasn't. But that's fair enough. But I must admit, a lot of people say the police are out at all hours, and you are. Why is it that the police don't ever see a ghost? And that's a fair question. And you didn't see it, but it was there.
They could see something that we couldn't.
Yeah.
And I can't explain that at all.
Yeah, amazing.
And even then, when we came back on shift the next day, we went round early just to have a look in the grass again to see if we could see any your footprints and things. And we couldn't find anything. We just couldn't find anything that would explain why they could see something from their position looking down onto the rear of the church.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. That's tremendous. Alan, thank you very much indeed. Anything else while you're on?
Chris he wanted me to mention, I sent a photograph in of a sign at a farm in Durham. So he said, can I link it in? So I thought, okay, I'm going to link it this way. I'll keep it brief for you.
Thanks.
So obviously grown up in Durham, there's like most places, there's many stories of ghosts.
Sure.
So if anyone wanted to perhaps do a little ghost trail, can I recommend one?
Do, please.
Here we go. So you could park up in Tudor Village, which is
Tudor. Tudor. Yeah.
So in the green there. So they reckon in the green is the vision of a horse which comes out of the village green where the pond was.
Right.
So nearby to there's a pub called the Black Horse.
Right.
That's where it takes its name from. Continuing from Tudor Village, you go down a small road which brings you out in Croxdale.
Gotcha.
That road is called the Nicky Nack Lane. It takes its name from the Nicky Nack ghost.
Right.
If anyone wants to read about that, then they'll find it. Just search for the Nicky Nack ghost, Croxdale.
Gotcha.
Now, the village of Croxdale takes its name from the word of cross in French, crew.
Yeah.
So it got its name from, in the Middle Ages, there was a large cross erected in Croxdale Woods.
Right.
Croxdale. And that was to ward off evil spirits.
Right.
If you walk from Sunland Bridge, so from Tudor, Nicky Nack Lane to Croxdale to Sunland Bridge, and then follow the road up past Croxdale Hall, you will come to a farm which has a sign which says, beware of witches.
How wild.
You will see it on your walk.
How wild is that?
The top tip.
It is. It's a good one. Alan, thank you very much indeed. Appreciate your time. Thanks, man. How good is that? Getting a police officer, ex-police officer, stand with attention and empty your pockets. Brilliant. What a great story. 0191 488 3188. Beware of witches if you head in that direction. You are with the big one. 0191 488 3188. I think it's time for a tune. And I said that I was going to say, they said play the usual. And I'm thinking, you've probably had Ghostbusters up to the chin. You've probably also had the Monster Mash up to the chin. Let's pick cleverer ones. Now, have you got an attic in your house? Yeah. Do you occasionally hear noises from the attic? Like there's somebody in there moving around. Because you may remember, many moons ago, we visited a property where a family were frightened out of their house. And when we went into the attic, because the lights were on the floor below, you could see all over the floor tiny little drilled holes so that people could watch those people living there. Makes you wonder if anybody's doing that to you. Everything that happens to you will be caught on camera. And of course, you've got your own night vision camera firing out.
No, that's taken off on that.
Is that coming off?
Yeah, I've got a mic on it. It'll interfere.
Oh, it's off. Okay, right.
So, just this one's on it.
Right. Okay, we're good. Are we ready, everybody? Yeah. Good luck, Christine. How are you feeling?
Fine, yeah.
Champion now, it's just...
Good to go.
Yeah, let's get out there. We'll go down.
Oh, she's
wow.
off. Gwen.
It's off again.
Straight away. I think she wants to talk to you, so we'll leave you to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
just talk to her. Christine, she's yours.
All right.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Right, watch your step, everybody.
Wow.
Want to close this door, or?
You can't, I don't think.
Okay, you're not. I'll just...
Let me try. Oh, I see, there's a weight on the floor. That's all right. It's only 55 pounds. Alrighty.
Starting out with any new project management software usually feels something like this.
Oh, the light's going off again. Hi, Eleanor, if you're with us. Hi. Oh, bless you. Looks like you're going to be my new friend because we've got nobody else now. So it's absolutely freezing cold here beside us. Literally freezing round us here. Wow. Is that you, Eleanor? Wow. Hi. Are you lonely by yourself? Oh, it's nice to have you here. It's not a very nice place for you to be, but at least you've got a friend tonight. Do you not mind being here? Is this you here beside us? Freezing cold here. Yes, is that you beside us? Hi. Hi. Oh, it's like really dark down that end. It's like dark in the corner. Really dark. It's a really weird sensation in here. It's really weird. Oh, there's the cold draft again. Literally, it's okay there and there, which you'd think that's where the draft would be coming from if it was a draft, but it's literally here in front of us. Freezing cold. You must enjoy being here. Bet it's nice to meet some people. be lonely. It's not a very nice place for you to hang about, to be fair. All this torture. It feels really sad in here. Really sad. Oh, are you okay? Do you like our doll? Are you playing with our balls and our doll? I used to have a toy. Literally. Freezing cold here again. Freezing cold. Are you still here? Are you still here with us? My little friend? Yes? Hi. At least everybody hasn't abandoned us. Literally, that's the weirdest feeling here. It's literally freezing cold from floor to here. Nothing there. Nothing there. Just this bit freezing cold. What actually was that? I just feel like I've got to keep looking in the corner. It's literally as if something's like, look at me sort of thing. It's definitely something, that corner. It's like that dark getting darker again. It sounds weird when you see it, but it's like, it's dark, but it gets darker as if you can see something. Weird sensation. What was that? That was literally a noise right beside us there. Literally, like a noise there.
With Alan Robson.
What are we talking about next? You make the call. 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Now, you've already had your first clue, and that is we're looking for 4 song titles. The first song title you are seeking, the clue towards it is A Roll in the What, You Idiot. So, what do you have a roll in, and what's another word for an idiot? That's the name of a song, but what song is it? So, 1 clue down, 3 more clues to come. See how well you do. Do not try and ring in for the competition until you've had all 4 clues delivered. Right, we have Claire. She's lurking in the darkness on this Halloween. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Alan. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you too. What you got for me then, Claire?
I just had a story. I lost a little girl in early pregnancy about 9 years ago. And the hospital were absolutely amazing. And they give us they did a naming ceremony for us. And they give us loads of purple butterflies as a keepsake.
All right.
And It was November time. As you can imagine, I was quite depressed and stuff. And it was coming to December, and I had 2 young children at home, and I had to go shopping. So I got myself up and went off shopping in Oxford, and it was snowing at the time. It was the first weekend in October, and it was snowing. And me and my husband went into the shops. Before we went in, a purple butterfly flew past me and my husband in October when it was snowing. So
in the snow.
In the snow.
I don't think anybody in the world has ever seen a butterfly in the snow.
Exactly. And it was a purple one. That's what the hospital gave us as a keepsake.
To remember the
butterfly.
baby. Oh, that is super. Now, you can't. You can't. What's the odds? What are the odds of something like that? That's beautiful.
I got loads of comfort out of it. It was lovely.
I bet. And funnily enough, because obviously Christmas time, you've got another couple of children who are all fizzing and buzzing and getting excited about everything at a time when you're feeling at rock bottom. You really needed something to kind of lift you up, and you couldn't have had anything better than that.
That's what I felt. I think if she wanted to know I'm all right, and I'm fine, and me and my husband got loads of comfort out of it.
No, that is sweet. Did he see it too?
Yeah, both of us. Yeah, flew past both of us. Yeah.
Because if you'd have said it to him, he'd never believed you. Because I believe you, you've no reason to lie to me. But he needed to see it too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Special.
And then another thing as well. You started my love affair with Chilean Castle about 17 years ago. I listened to your show. I've been a long time listening.
Thank you.
I started to go, and I've been going every single year for 17 years, and I got married there.
Wow!
11 years ago, and we went not last weekend, the weekend before for our anniversary.
How special! It just seems to be getting better every year, doesn't it? They keep adding bits and showing more stuff. It's very. Why get married there? Because yes, it's spooky, and you get a bit of a kick out of that. But to get married there is out there a bit.
Oh, I think when you go there, once you've been once, I say you get bit by the children bug, you're drawn back, you've got to keep on going. I go there, I feel at my happiest. It's just a lovely place to go. It sounds bad because more.
I get it. I've mentioned a few times that when I've been previously, and I have to exclude the last trip because we've been there recently, and it's on Facebook and YouTube. The video of it. Every time I go there, because I've been there so much, and because I'm supportive of the castle and the operation, and I like the guy who runs it, and I've always felt kind of warm and welcomed there. That's what you get, and I absolutely understand that. However, just this last time, and I don't know, I did have a pop at the negative energy that's in there, and my experience was darker and more unpleasant for the very first time. I still love the place because it's got amazing history, and up to the lake and the other lake beyond, so much there. But no, I maybe misspoke, pushed it a bit far maybe this time. But normally, as I say, you just feel I'm back, and it's Gillingham, and you feel all of that. No?
It's funny because I had a similar situation what you had, because we lost our little Darcy in November, and my family booked us to go for Christmas Day in December just to lift our spirits and stuff, because we absolutely love going there.
Right.
And that was my worst experience going. It's like something zoomed in on me negative energy, me downness, and everything went wrong. It wasn't nice at all. Things would go missing. It just wasn't a pleasant experience.
And that's strange. It just goes to show that what you, because that was probably the first time in Chillingham this last trip that I gave out negative energy, and I got repaid with negative.
Oh, definitely.
Immediately.
That's exactly what I experienced. Like they do, like some of the zoomed in it. I don't know how to explain it, but
it could tell. It could tell that there was something negative there, and it fed off it. I got exactly. It's hard to explain unless you've been in that kind of experience and had it yourself, because there will be people listening in there. I don't believe in all that malarkey, because they're fairly commonplace on the ground, and it's yet until you've been and seen, then you understand. Because I just think Chillingham's always been a spectacular place, and
definitely
it's not changed any other than to the positive, really. I mean, the they're making a better deal of it now than they ever have, which is great.
I'll tell anyone to go, because once you've been once, you want to go back.
It's one of them places. Hey,
it is.
Claire, bless you, darling. Thank you so much. And I hope you're celebrating the celebration of Darcy this coming month, because it's November, you said, was the time.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I hope you're going to do something positive, because that makes a difference too, you know.
Oh, it does. It does.
All right. Well, good luck to you, Claire. Thank you for calling.
Bye. Thank you.
Cheers,
bye,
love.
bye.
Bye-bye. Coogie Bear's been on. I don't know which Coogie Bear it is. I don't know whether it's the ginger one, the blonde one, or the dark-haired one, but there's 3 Coogies in a row. I'm a non-believer, but I do have a visit from a red Admiral butterfly on the anniversary of the death of my wife, and her birthday a week later, and the anniversary of her funeral a week after that. Good or bad weather, when I'm out with me dog, she comes and batters me over those 3 days. Well, she's not going to let you forget, Coogie Bear. Neil says, love Chillingham. I worked there doing my mediumship with the famous Anguish Man painting. How about that? You see, a lot of stuff going on. Gary's with us now. He's cooking it in Gateshead. Hi, Gary. Hello, Gary. Hello, Gary. Is Gary there? Gary might be there. He might not. Let me try again. Hi, Gary.
Hello. Sorry I had to go away and turn the radio off.
That's all right. That's all right. What you got for me, guys?
The paranormal.
Uh-huh.
The subject. The last time I spoke to you on this was a while ago, maybe about 16 years ago.
Okay.
And there was a bit of a hoo-ha went on where 2 women called you up, saying they had someone speaking in their house this time I spoke.
Right.
I don't know if you remember. It was when I was talking about the woman on the high street.
Right.
Calls in. But anyway, and 4 years ago we spoke about ufology, the UFOs. And never spoke to you since. I didn't actually know you were still going on night owls. I thought I'd finished it, but I've just found out, obviously.
Okay. Right.
But anyway, this is one of my experience.
Okay.
I'll try not to keep it too long.
Okay, man.
I used to work as a youth worker, community education, for the education department, some years ago. And I still knew the staff and such, and still would go in one of the buildings that I worked on, on my housing estate.
Right.
This one morning I calls down there. It's got 2 floors above the ground floor. This one morning I calls down there to see who's in there. Sometimes family and friends will be in there, or I just even the staff, because obviously I knew the staff.
Right.
So I presses the buzzer, and I'm let in from upstairs. Walks up the stairs, has a look in the first floor, and there's no one there. The first floor is a big empty room with tables, and there's a kitchen off there. Goes up the second floor, walks along the corridor, and the door's open to the staff room, and there's 2 members of staff there, senior members, male and female, and the caretaker. So I walks in and says hello. I have a big conversation. The caretaker sitting away from the desk on a chair, and the 2 workers are behind the desk. Then we crack on, and the female worker comes out saying, the cleaner said that there's a ghost in here. So I told her, pricked me as up in that question, has seen a ghost. She must have said, like, what it looks like. She says, no, she's never said. And I thought, well, she must have some idea. She's seen there's a ghost in here. And then I said, well, I've been coming here for years and I've never felt anything. Because I pick up on things like this.
Right.
Like I say, I've been about this building for a long time. And he said, what do you mean? And I went towards the door that I just walked through, was propped open by a few books. And I moved the books away from the door and shut the door. And I sat down and I said to them, it's a bit like this. So sometimes it happens with the person who's closest to us, which was the caretaker, my friend Joe. And then he left. Then I said, it's like saying, Joe, your grandma's here. And she's saying you've got to finish the boat. And I'm telling them I can't see her. It's like as if I know, like, just by memory, she's there. She's in front of us, but I can't see her. But she's saying, finish the boat. And I'm telling them, I don't know if this means anything to you or not, but that's what what I'm getting. So I maybe said one or two more things about a completely different thing, and the subject changed. Well, then she just wandered out and went about the day. That night, I'm lived on my own. That night, I'm sitting in my flat downstairs, one up, house next door, sitting by myself in the kitchen, and then out of nowhere, a clock appeared in front of me, arm's length away, just hovering on the ground, but as real as me knew, there's a clock there, and it's there for about 2 seconds, and it vanishes. So I'm sitting thinking, I've just seen a clock there, I'm sure. I thought I'd just left my mind, and the guy turns up in front of us, wearing white collars, a black suit, with a pocket watch with a chain over his right hand.
Right.
At the back of his right hand, swinging it in front of us. He hasn't got the bottom half of his legs, and he's not wearing a head. Right? He's there for a couple of seconds and gone. It was then I thought I was right. I did see a clock. He then catches my eye at the bottom of my kitchen. It was like a galley kitchen, narrow. Catches my eye at the bottom of the kitchen. And he's standing there still again. There's no bottom half of his legs. There's no head. Can't see the pocket watch because his sideways on. But he falls through me, falls sort of face down. That you could see it, but obviously he's got no head on. Falls forward through the floor and he vanishes. He's gone. But he does this in 3 stages. He's first of all standing there. I then see him 45 degrees lying over, and then I see him falling through the floor. So I'm thinking this is getting good. This is something not right here. As he vanished, a couple of seconds later after that, from the corner of the kitchen comes piano music playing. Quite clear. There's nobody in the block got a piano. Next door neighbours don't. But in my kitchen come the sound of a piano playing. This went on for about 5 seconds and stopped. A few seconds after that stopped, something caught my eye from the left. And I turned round to see an object that was shaped. It was quite bulky, maybe been about a foot tall, or taller. It was like an upside down pyramid coming out of the wall, coming out of the kitchen wall. It was then, because it was so bizarre to see, and I didn't know what it was. It was then I said, right, what's going on? Because I hadn't actually spoke. When I said that, it simply vanished. It was gone. The same as the clock and the same as the guy who was kicking about. So I got up and I started just jot down a few things, a date and such, and what I had just seen going on. And I drew a gibbet. And I thought, oh, that's odd. Because sometimes I just do it anyway, but I was thinking I'd do this gibbet. I then drew another gibbet. And I thought, this is getting a bit daft. This is something up. Why is I drawing a gibbet? I questioned it. Because normally, like I say, I just do it, but not drawing gibbet.
Sure. Going to have to ask you to get to the crunch here, because we've been dancing around the garden a bit. What exactly was it then?
Sorry?
What exactly was all of this then?
Well, this is what I'm trying to get to. It's probably going to be a bit long to get to the end, so I'll try to rush it on. So anyway, I do this gibbet, goes to bed, well, nothing else happens, goes to bed. The next morning I goes to the same place, goes upstairs. I'm sitting on the second floor this time, reading the newspaper, and one of the senior youth workers walks in. He says, we got the shock of your life yesterday when you said that. I said, what? He said, Joe's grandma was there, you've got to finish the board. He said, because we were just talking about Joe's granddad leaving her a board. And he's got to finish it once work's done with it. It's a model board, board, a big one. And I went, all right. He says, but we kind of work out how you knew what we're talking about because we had let you in downstairs. And we'd already stopped talking about it. So I went, right, fair enough. Joe's coming in today. I'll have a word with him, I'll ask him about it. Joe come in, I says, is that right about your board? And he says, yeah. So I then says to him, Joe, by any chance did your granddad leave you a pocket watch? He went, yeah, he did. He says, but the chain's missing from it. I don't know what's happened to the chain. And I says, is there anything about a mantelpiece clock? A mantelpiece clock. Anyway, yeah, there was one went missing. Was on the mantelpiece for years above the fire. And we don't know what happened to it. It just went missing. And all right, I says, can I have a word with you a minute? So I went into the storeroom. It was a big storeroom. And I said, I think your granddad was at mine last night. So he says, your granddad was a piano player, wasn't he? He was quite good. He says, yeah, he was. He says, he used to teach me. I went, right. I went, Joe, I just watch this. And I bent over. He says, I'm opening your garage. And as if I was lifting up a garage door.
Right.
Your garage is a door that lifts up. It's not, it's two doors on hinges.
Yeah.
He says, I'm in your garage. He says, your boat is parked as if you've driven it into the garage. He says, no, it's the other way around. He says, Joe, he says, your boat is parked inwards like you've driven it. He disagreed again. And then he sat back a bit and leaned on the bench and he said, just a minute, you're right. He says, I cleaned up last week, tidied the garage up, he says, and I couldn't get the boat spun round where it was. And now it's pointing inwards and not outwards.
Right.
He says, right, under that boat, there's a box. There's a few boxes. In the box, under the front of the boat, you'll find two cogs close together, making two rings with your fingers. Look at that size. So that's what you're looking for in that box. Then I'm seeing them. I'm now going to go through your kitchen. Bear in mind, I've never been in his house. Don't know where he lived.
Right.
I'm now going through your kitchen door, through your garage door, which leads into your kitchen. I can see in your kitchen, you've got a black tile floor. I'm going into your passage. Now I can't see your stairs because the stairs was very odd and it wasn't coloured black. It wasn't just looking in the darkness. There wasn't anything there other than darkness. The frame and such, obviously the alcove was there.
Yeah.
But you couldn't see anywhere. You couldn't even see the stair itself. So I looked to my left. This is what I'm telling him. I says, I'm looking to my right in your living room and telling him how his living room set out as I went in.
I still got to rush him, and I got quite a queue building up. This is turning into an entire movie. So what happened? I mean, could he confirm it? Did you find the watch? Did you find the clock?
Yes.
Great, thank you very much. 0191 488 3188. Happy days. And the crowd cheers. 0191 488 3188. I know that was kind of cruel. But we got thousands of you trying to get on, so we want to just try and be fair. Amazing if he has that ability. Have you? And can you tell a story quicker? 0191 488 3188. We're back in a tiddly.
Is anybody else here with us? Anybody else? Anybody? Whoever's made that sound? Whoever seems to be standing, like literally standing with us? It's that corner. It's literally something about that corner. It's just the weirdest feeling. It's like you need to keep looking at it. It's like you sense that you need to keep looking at something. that was literally, whoa. That was literally as if something just went past us. It darkened like a shadow. Eleanor, have you gone now? Have you gone, Eleanor? Eleanor? Have you gone now? It feels different than here now.
The voice of the North.
Alan Robson's Night Owls. The phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Alan Robson on the big one. 0191 488 3188. You should know the number by now. Give me a call if you've had any ghostly habnabs, or more particularly if you've had a message from the other side. Got a few clips that we want to play you. We've got something about the Spine Road and, well, a lot of stuff going on. But let's talk to James, who is in Anitsford. Hi, James.
Hi, Alan Mara.
Hello, mate. What can we do for you?
Hey, you think it's Halloween night, isn't it, or something? Yeah.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Do you want to talk about something else if you do?
Yeah,
Feel free.
right. You know, this climate, two things I want to talk about, which is really, really, I think, is important.
Okay.
The climate change, for a start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you got people like gluing themselves to the roads in England, right, I can't straighten a bit. Saudi Arabia is 19.39 per capita. Canada is 16.85 per capita. Germany is 90.7 per capita. China is 7.72 per capita. Spain is 609 per capita. France is 502 per capita. Thailand is 405 per capita.
Right.
And the best in the whole world is where you live in England.
Right.
Less than 2.
Right.
Right. So why do they pick? Why do they? Why are they like gluing themselves to roads in this country? Because they can't get to China because they get shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
If they glue themselves to the China, they get shot. It's simple as.
Or a tank,
you know what I mean?
A tank would just move slowly over them, maybe.
It would. Aye, it would.
One or the other. But the thing is, we've got people that are passionate and they believe that we can do even more than we are doing. I understand that. Do you not need those I'm not saying that they should glue themselves to the road, because, to be honest, I think that's stupid. There's a lot of ways to make a point. You don't need to do that, in my opinion. But do you not need the dissenting voice to get stuff done?
No, because what they're doing is what they're doing is they're alienating the people.
Right.
Right. They're making the point in the wrong country for a start.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Like we're leading the way for climate change.
Right.
But in climate change, we're gone. The planet is 4,553 billion light years old.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The sun is going to expire and go to a red giant less than 1 billion years, which is nothing for time. Do you know?
Well, it is to us, but I know what you're saying. We're just ants on the surface of the planet, really, in the great scheme of things.
Yeah, well, we've been over 4.5 billion years, the planet, and we've only got less than 1 billion years left.
Right.
So, because the sun's going to go red giant.
Better start ticking off that bucket list then.
You have to.
Aye,
No, wait. I'm talking about the future generations.
No, absolutely.
But like, why don't they not just say right now, get like a space, because we can do it. We've proved we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
We can live in space.
Right.
Sustained.
Yeah.
You know. So why didn't they have like 50 or 100 people for to go and get like
Jeff Bezos is building a space station that's going to be habitable in space. That might be the beginning of who knows what. You know, might be start the beginning of populating space.
Because we could get the proxy B, you know, but then it's gonna be it's gonna have to be like self-contained, because that's 4,300 light years away. You know, But I reckon that's the golden planet. You know, that'll sustain life.
Right.
Because the way we're going on, we're not gonna we're gonna extinct ourselves.
Right. That's possible. But also, some people won't be able to get on the spacecraft because they're too busy stuck to a motorway up in Northampton or somewhere, aren't they?
That's it. Absolutely. But that's what I reckon they should do now.
Right.
They shouldn't wait till next year or whatever. They should start it now. You know.
Gotcha.
And have it sustained, like 50 or 100 people on a spaceship or a space station, then gone. You know,
Got it.
They can reduce ourselves and all that when they're gone on. They've got 100 people.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Done job.
Well, that's it. Because the way China, the way it gets on the other point, you see, that slides right into the other point.
Okay,
China.
Okay.
China.
I tell you, I've got to take a little break, so stay where you are. I'll come back to you in part 2, but it'll be in about 5 minutes. So Chris will ring you back. Time for just one of those glorious greatest hits moments.
Well, I see it by myself. I feel like it's just like literally loads of people staring at us all over. It's like weird, really weird.
So it's Halloween. We've already had the doll firing in all directions. Christine's in there completely on her own. She sounds like she's a ghost hunt pro. She's done it before. She's visited Chilean before. Will she be shaken by anything, or will something happen? Who knows? Who knows? Which is the way for us to...
We can get out.
Too. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts in 10.
Usually I get accustomed to the dog, but it's like, it seems to have gone darker. It's a bit here, like darker, and literally freezing. Don't want to walk too far because it's probably one off. a noise over there again. I need to sit here so I can listen. Is anybody here? Anybody with us? Anybody want to talk? Anyone want to try and scare us? Anybody? Anybody want to touch my hand?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it.
They're on the shift. They are moving, aren't they? They are moving. They're moving in time. Like with the clock.
They are moving.
You can see that, can't you? You know they're moving together.
They're moving. Both of them are moving. Can you see that, Tony?
I'm pointing at them, hopefully. I can see it with my eyes. It's definitely moving.
Yeah,
So can I. But both of them are.
both of them are.
Oh, God, yeah. They're moving more now.
Moving more, look.
Now you've said that.
Look at that.
What a day. What a crazy, crazy day. Now, while all kinds of things have been happening tonight, but let me tell you the brief story of John Sage. He used to be the torturer here, but why was he the torturer? Yeah, you guys sit down, but I can't believe that the chandeliers are moving behind me, because we've just all come in here, mob-handed. Now, John Sage was a soldier. He was a soldier, a lieutenant in the armies of King Edward I, who was Longshanks, the Hammer of the Scots. Now, John Sage was a bit of a superstar of his day. He was a... Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was in the next room.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, heard that.
We got knocking now as well. This place, bad. But John Sage, or maybe it's because I'm talking about him, who knows? John Sage was a lieutenant. Now, the nearest thing that I can say is he was a bit of an Alan Shearer of his day. He was the big star. He was the lieutenant that was always fighting by the side of the king. He was the guy that was going to protect him. He was the one that killed more people. He was the one that rode out into the enemy first. He was a hero. And the people around here, because this is where he fought from, the people around here thought he was amazing, thought he was great. And then one day, during a battle on the borders with the Scots, a Scotsman using a pike impaled him in the inside of the leg, came right the way through. Now, this meant he couldn't ride a horse anymore because he couldn't balance properly. And he ended up dragging his leg, kind of. So, that was the end of his military career, pretty much. The king said, we'd love you still to work with us, yeah, we want you with us, but what can you do now? You can't fight anymore. He didn't have his mobility. So John Sage, desperate for some kind of revenge against the people, the Scots, who had hurt him, said, let me be the torturer at Chilean Castle, and I'll get you all the information that you want to know. I'll make sure that I get all of the info from everybody that comes here. And a lot of people did. Every time they went out on a foray, they would come back with prisoners. And essentially, did they really want information? Or did John Sage just want people to play with? And that's pretty much what he did. He played with their bodies. Can I just remind you to please share this conversation? Share this with everybody, and you can win yourself a badge and a goodie bag. We'd love you to do that. So, did you hear that? What the hell? Excuse me. I've just had. Did you guys experience anything there?
Yeah. No, the moving charge meter just went berserk there.
My lungs just filled up with a smell. It was.
Oh God, yeah.
Are you getting that?
Oh yeah. Right.
What?
What the hell?
Something lost. There's something moving down there. You hearing that?
What on earth? That sounded unearthly.
So anyway, John Sage became the torturer here. Blimey, everything's getting in the way of a good story this Halloween. John Sage became torturer at Chilean Castle, and he created a lot of the stuff that's in there just so that he could hurt, maim. There's the oubliette that we haven't even touched on yet. Used to put people in there, and it's a disgusting way to die. We will be putting somebody else in there a little bit later on. However, John Sage, the war ended, and the king insisted that everybody up here at Chillingham release their prisoners as a show of good faith, returning any Scots that were captured to their families. And John Sage said, I don't want to do that. I'll tell you what he did on the Devil's Mail a bit later on. But here in the castle, he vowed that nobody would leave. And he said, anyone who walks from the castle gate will live. Anyone who walks from the castle gate. And he lit a huge bonfire in the courtyard just outside. And he put all of the Scottish prisoners, some were lairds, and sometimes their ladies and families, were put on the bonfire and burned to death. No one walked out of the castle. Not of the regal bunch, not of the leaders. He did something with the kids in the tower, I'll tell you about from the tower. Those that could walk out who were in prison, your ordinary prisoners, something here has happened to them too. And John Sage got his comeuppance in the torture chamber. He was romancing his lady, Elizabeth Armstrong, a Reaver family, not to be messed with, on the rack table. And he was choking at, again, sexual fulfillment, and she died. And I'll show you where John Sage died.
3188.
This is Night Owls.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Yes, it is. Alan Robson with you. And what are you going to talk about tonight? Call Chris right now. 0191 488 3188. Now, just before we go back to James, time for your second clue. Clue number one is a role in the What You Idiot. Now, what song could that possibly be? Chris is already puzzled, I can tell. A role in the What You Idiot. Second clue, what all politicians want to get. What all politicians want to get. What all politicians want to get. 2 clues down, 2 more clues to come. Don't ring in until you get the very last clue. Let's go across to James in Anetsford. Hello, James.
Hi, Alan. I'm being as quick as I can because I know it's
we
you
will,
know what I mean?
Your climate change is in danger if you crack on too long. No, so you were mentioning though a slide into China. What's the crack?
Right. It's heavy as out.
Go on then.
China is 2,102 kilometers away from Taiwan.
Right.
Because they've got to go through Burma to get to Taiwan. And they're claiming that they want Taiwan. Does that make sense?
Yep. But they claim they own Taiwan. It's not that they want it.
Well, they didn't.
They claim it.
They didn't. They didn't because it's a self-ruled island, you know. And from 2019, this is getting worrying. From 2019, USA it's got 3 nearby naval bases there.
Right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Russia went with China and said, right, you can take Taiwan, right? And on Friday, there was 56 China warplanes went through Taiwan's airspace just on Friday alone. That's 680 yards since January.
Right.
And Taiwan's helped, asked for help because Australia, it's just a ship. It's just a quick ship over to Australia, Taiwan.
Yeah.
So on the Philippines, 2 weeks ago, it's still going on. We showed like a load of force there, for exercises.
Right.
You got Japan, China, Australia, USA, Canada, and the UK.
Right.
And they're still persistent that they want to take Taiwan. Basically, if they didn't back off, that'd be World War III, mate.
It's possible.
Because as soon as they try to take Taiwan, Australia's in.
Yeah, and if Australia's in,
soon as Australia,
everybody else plays in too.
Yeah, as soon as Australia, we've got to get in because they're part of our. We've got to get in, hasn't he? It's about it. You know what I mean? Because they won us World War II, same as Canada.
Yeah, well, it's part of the Commonwealth still.
That's it. Canada, Australia, USA, us, but it was surprised me. Japan went on our side sort of thing and said, "Keep your hands off."
Sure. Yeah,
when
because
you think about
Japan would say that. I know the Chinese have always believed that Taiwan, which used to be called Formosa, was their property in the first place.
Yeah.
And then obviously they chose the independent route and they want to keep that distance. I don't know what the answer is. Could the answer be that the Chinese say, well, okay, it's our principality, but we'll let it do its own thing like it did in Hong Kong? Because when the West left, China officially took it over, but all of the business was allowed to keep going just as it always had been because it was making a fortune for them. Could they not do the same thing with Taiwan?
I could understand if Burma was China. I can't understand where it's 2,000 kilometers away that they're still persistent with this. Is because Taiwan has been independent for nearly 100 years.
Yeah, and China's.
I know what you're saying. I know.
China's
it's like we're saying. It's like we're saying I want Spain back.
Right. Well, Spain won Gibraltar back, and Argentina won.
Yeah.
Back.
Just off the coast.
It's going on. Wherever you go, that's the crack, isn't it?
Well, you see, right. We're Malta, right? It's up to the Maltese people if they want to keep in British rule or they want to be in Spain.
Well, yeah, and the Taiwanese have said
the same as the Taiwan.
They want
Taiwan wants
independent,
but the different. They're stating categorically they want to be independent. They want to be as they are.
Yeah,
they do want no influences of China. Wait, it makes it sense because Japan is just not far from Taiwan neither.
And that's exactly why the Japanese don't want it to happen either.
That's it.
Yeah,
and then definitely Australia doesn't.
No,
definitely.
Do you think there'll be another war?
Yeah, if China doesn't back off, there will be a World War III on.
Right.
Because you got
on that happy note.
Yeah, where it's Happy Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got like Korea, you've got North Korea, you've got Russia, and you've got China.
So what you're saying is we're doomed. Is that it?
No. We will. There'll be no winners in World War III on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Isn't that the reason why there won't be one?
No, because China is like they've changed the last 10 years. But they changed a lot with it.
But they haven't attacked anybody.
No, but the region itself has changed in the last 10 years, dramatic.
But
it's like every kid now is in the army.
Yeah, but China is making a fortune from car plants, heavy industry all over the world. They've got places.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they want to destroy the places where they're making so much money?
I don't know. You'll ask them that.
Well,
I would have thought they would have backed off last month, but they didn't. And do you know that this COVID-19?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's warfare itself. I think that's chemical warfare itself from China.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there, just to be fair to everybody else, James. But thank you very much for your call. What do you reckon? I mean, we heard that people had COVID in Canada before it even appeared in China. And then everybody says, it came from China. Why did it come from China? Because China is not one of our allies, so let's not blame a friend. Could be the answer to that. Who knows? I don't trust any of them. However, are we going to war? Do you want to talk about it? If you do, feel free. Give me a ring. If you want to talk about something completely different, well, you can. But it's Halloween, and we'd love your ghost stories. We'd love to find out whether you've ever had a message from the other side that you believe with all your heart was from a person, a member of your family, or a friend who is there. Tony said, nice to see you out and about on your ghost tour of Newcastle. Yeah, Tony, the trusty taxi driver, popped out from the queue at the central station when we went in there and did a bit. When is the next one planned? We're doing individual tours, and that's on the new Robson's World website. Thank you very much to everybody who's mentioned. A few people have mentioned that they've been on there and they've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Appreciate that very much. And also a few people loving the Emporium, which is cool. Mark says, oi, oi, Savaloy, happy Halloween. Thank you very much for that. Also, I've got the picture that was sent in of the farm with the gate saying beware of witches. 0191 488 3188. If you've got any pictures that you want to share with us, I would love to see them too. 0191 488 3188. 2 clues down. First clue, a roll in the what, you idiot. Second clue, what all politicians want to get. 2 more clues up and coming. Then you've got to name whoever the band or artist happens to be. Meanwhile, we're talking to Stephen, and he's in Washington. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, mate. What are you talking about tonight?
I've got 2 things. I was at Chilean Castle today.
Oh, brilliant.
Yesterday.
Excellent.
There's a couple of things happened. I took me 10-year-old son.
Right.
I had to walk on to the lake.
Right. Uh-huh.
On the way back, we heard like some like footsteps behind us.
Right.
And it looked like they were kicking leaves. That's a bit strange, that one, but it just felt like my son was like behind me and it was something behind him.
Right.
And
no, we got something like that. We caught that on tape too. So there's something moving around up there because you can hear, and I don't know whether it's just because it's this time of year and there's lots of leaves and stuff around, but you can hear footsteps pretty clearly there, can't you?
Yeah, when there was no wind, so
right, there you go.
Knew it wasn't the wind. But a bit further on, that happened a couple of times. But a bit further along, you know where the witches circle is near the gate.
Yeah.
Where it's moaning voices as well.
Wow, excellent.
So I thought it might come from the field behind where the cannons are.
Right.
So we went round to have a look. There was no one there. There was no one around us as well. So
how did the band like it?
He enjoyed it. He wasn't scared or anything. You know, he was loving it.
Just dealing with it. Good.
Yeah. Well, we went in the castle and went in the torture chamber.
Right.
You know where that rack.
Yes.
You know, the racking table.
Yeah.
We went there, and I saw footsteps behind the wall. You know, the little gap.
Yeah.
And I thought I heard footsteps, so I was like, "Oh, no!" And I backed up a little bit. And then, but I decided to go back again.
Right.
Then I heard the game, and honestly, it looked like someone was crouching down to have a look in. Oh. And I was like, "Nope, see you later." And me and my son just went out of there, and then just thought, well, I'll have another go. Went back in again, heard it again. That was the end of it. And
how many can you deal with?
Yeah, I got it all on video.
That's
I'll
great.
put it on YouTube tonight.
Yeah, do it. By all means. Brilliant.
And just my son, like you said, that after that, my son was going in the dungeon on his own.
Right.
He wasn't even phased. He wasn't even bothered. And since then, he's been buzzing us. He says, "Oh, I heard a ghost. I saw a ghost and stuff." Yeah.
That's tremendous. But it's good you're starting him young. He's not frightened. That's great, you know.
No. I see he sleeps tonight, though.
Brilliant.
But there's another thing. I've seen your video about the church with the tombs.
Yes.
Well, I saw that, but I've got a phobia for Jesus on the cross.
No, I saw an email or a text or something saying that. You sent a text in saying that you had a really vivid dream or nightmare that Jesus on the cross was with a cross on him was chasing you. Is this right?
Wow. When I was little, I was having recurring nightmares all the time.
Yeah.
It was quite often getting chased by Jesus across in the graveyard, which is a bit strange. And since then, I couldn't even go to church. My mother had to drag us into church because I was so scared of watching, seeing
of the image.
Jesus on the cross. I was convinced he was looking at me. You know?
Wow.
And she used to joke I had 3 sticks on my head, saying the devil and all that stuff. And
yeah, kind of fits. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but since then I've just had this thing, you know,
never
I can't
got
even
over
look at it. But when I was in Chilean Castle, you know, the chapel.
There's one in the chapel, a funny looking thing up there. Yeah,
I couldn't even look at it.
No.
I went, no. I caught a glimpse. I was like, nope, not looking at that. I wouldn't look at it.
Next room. Let's get to the next room.
Yeah, where you at? In that room, I heard furniture move as well.
Right. Chilean never disappoints in my experience.
I love the place. I've got to go back as soon as it opens again.
There you go. Hey, good stuff. Hey, lovely talking to you, Stephen. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you.
All the best. Bye-bye. 01914 888 3188. Keep your calls coming in. And we have our next caller. Or do we have a track? I'm not quite sure yet. I see. We got a break. So we're going to play a little bit of music. But before that, 22. Before that, we're going to hear from the band Train, who we love, about one of their spooky experiences. That's coming up in about 15 minutes, so get ready for that. Meanwhile, we're talking to John, who happens to be in Denton Burn. Hello, John.
Hiya.
Hello, mate. What's your story tonight?
Yeah, well, I used to live in a haunted house.
Oh, where was that?
In New Biggin Hall.
Right. Do tell. What happened?
Newcastle.
What's the crack?
Well, what happened was my sister played with a Ouija board.
Right.
And then everything started to happen.
Right.
There was loads of stories, but I'll tell you this one because it's probably the best one.
Sounds good.
I was a large family, so we had bunk beds.
Right.
I used to sleep in the top bunk and my brother in the bottom bunk.
Right.
And I was into Bruce Lee at the time, so I had posters all over the wall of them.
Uh-huh.
And one night, this is just one of the stories, there's loads, but this night, my brother said the bed started shaking.
Right.
And the poster he heard getting ripped off the wall and dropped on his head. And he heard me laughing.
Right.
So he says, you better pack it in or I'll hit you, basically.
Yeah, you cleaned that one up nicely for us, thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, the same thing happened again. So he got out of his bed to punch his one, except I wasn't there. I was outside. I had just come back from the club.
Right.
And I came in the front door as this was happening. We had a dog that used to bite and bark at nothing.
Right.
It could see something, but we couldn't.
Right. Yeah.
At the time, my dad was ill, but the doctors didn't know what it was at the time.
Mm.
And
I used to work with somebody that was into spiritualism.
Right.
And he got the head spiritualist from Newcastle to come and visit him.
Right.
And the first thing they said when they came in the house was, I've just passed 2 spirits in your passage.
Wow.
And they refused to come back.
Oh, that's nice of them. Just to let you know, you got 2 ghosts in here. Bye.
Yeah, we had 2 ghosts.
Fantastic. I mean, did you ever see anything yourself? Did you ever see like an image of anything? Anybody?
No, we never actually saw anything. It's just things that happened.
Right. The thing with dogs, and it's really common. Or the dog keeps barking at something that appears at the top of the stairs, and you think, well, I'll remember that when I'm going to bed at 1:30 in the morning. But dogs barking at things that we can't see seems a fairly common one these days.
It is. Actually, we did see something, me and my dad. We had a long living room with a window at either side.
Right.
And we both, on separate occasions, saw a bird fly across the room. But we couldn't find it.
Right. Oh, that's cool. So, yeah. So maybe there was a time when that room wasn't there and that bird, now dead, did that flight, and you're seeing it fly across the room, but it wasn't there. I mean, how did you both find out that you'd seen a bird in separate occasions? How did your dad mention it to you?
Yeah, he had mentioned it, and then, I mean, it was a few weeks difference when I saw it.
Right.
And we both done the same thing, looking under the pelmets, which was the thing in them days.
Yeah, pelmet, blame me there.
The windows weren't open, and there was just nothing there.
There's a word from the past, pelmet.
Pelmet, yeah.
That was probably just above your dado reel back in the day. People had such
No,
things.
we didn't have dado reels there.
I know, great stories all the same, though, John. Thank you for them. Anything else?
Well, when we moved house, because we needed a bigger house because there was a lot of work.
Right.
Somebody we knew that didn't know about the hauntings moved into our house.
Right.
And I saw the daughter in town centre a couple of weeks later after they moved in.
Right.
And she said, "You've left your ghost."
So it had already shown itself to them within such a space of time. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. More confirmation. You see, more confirmation.
Yeah.
Tremendous. Hey, well, John, thank you very much for that. Great call.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming on, man. All the best. 0191 488 3188. Happy Halloween. You would think it would be something that you would want to happen if you were visited by your dad.
My dad passed away 12 years ago due to cirrhosis of the liver. In my dream, I was at his local pub. I was standing at the bar and I was touched on the shoulder. As I turned, I knew it was him. He looked young. He was smartly dressed. 3-piece suite, waistcoat. I had long forgot the sound of his voice, and in the dream, I knew he was deceased. He told me he was very sorry and that he visits me often. He then pulled from his waistcoat a picture of my daughter, Lily.
Right.
He told me I was granted custody of my daughter 4 years ago to change the path I was heading on.
Right.
I was with drink and drugs and many other things.
Yeah.
And that he was proud of us and the man and the dad that I'd become. And with that, he kissed me forehead, and I woke up shedding a tear or two with joy. 3 days later, my little girl returned from primary school with a white feather, and I asked her where she got it from. And she told me it had dropped out of the sky and landed in front of her feet. Now, I didn't think much of it until the weekend just passed. We were watching Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And one of his funeral songs came on, The Hollies, He Ain't Heavy.
Ah, right.
Now, after the show, I put Lily to bed, and as we were walking up the stairs, the lights were flickering, and I took her into bed, and I noticed a little mini mouse car, which is a remote control. It was moving backwards and forwards.
Yes.
And I asked her if the controller was in the bed, and she had pointed out it was on a bookshelf, which is the opposite end of the room.
What could put pressure on that button from that kind of distance? It's impossible, isn't it? There you go. Strange things. And one of the other topics that we really should talk about is the influence of angels. Now, I've never been big on the angels because to me, an angel is a ghost is an angel. That's how I view it, or a demon, or a devil, or if it's not a pleasant spirit. But some people absolutely believe with all their heart
About 4 years ago, I was involved in a really nasty car accident, and up until that point, I never really gave anything like that a thought. Never really had any sort of thought on ghosts or angels or whatever you.
Right.
It was quite a nasty car accident, and I was knocked out. And when I came around, I was sat in the back of the car, and there was a lady sat beside me, and she was dressed in like a white, almost like a nurse's uniform. But the funny thing was that she was beautifully dressed and smart, and she kept saying, "Put your head on my shoulder." And I didn't want to because I knew I was bleeding. Right. And all I kept thinking was, I'm going to really mess up her overalls, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the ambulance and the fire engines and they all turned up, and this lady got out of the car, and then I was whisked away to hospital. Well, about a week after, I felt the need then to thank this lady because she was really kind and she was a lot of comfort to me at the time.
Yeah, helped you through.
So I contacted the police and I said to them, look, this lady that was there, and they were saying, no, you were sat on your own. I said, no, I wasn't. And I know I wasn't because she held my hand and I knew she was there. And I did search for her. I did try to ask various people, but nobody knew. I was sat on my own in the car, apparently. So I just gave up.
As far as they knew, but you know different. How about that? Angels, where do you stand? 0191 488 3188. Now, Neil from Saltburn has arrived. I've just seen a couple of pictures that he sent too. Hopefully we can stick them on this feed for you so you can have a look at them. Let's talk to the man. Hello, Neil from Saltburn.
Hello, Alan. Are you well?
I'm good, man. Thank you very much for calling in. Seen your pictures. What the devil's all that?
Well, you should know as the paranormal investigator, it's spirit. It cannot be created or destroyed. The energy, it's there.
There you go. And you can see it, though. It's caught on camera, and it's showing itself in quite a dynamic way on both those shots.
It is. On the helicopter one, and I know you know of this helicopter because you were there not so long back.
That's right.
Spirit communicate to us humans symbolically in many ways. Now, people said to me, it looks like someone sat there with a famous burger sign on his hat, but that's a symbolic sign of the wings. He was a lieutenant as a pilot. That was that sign.
Right.
Some people will call it pareidolia. It's your eyes making up things out of pixelations, or looking at clouds and seeing elephants and butterflies and things like that. But when you've opened yourself up and communicated with spirit as long as I have, then you know different. More so, I had a conversation with a gentleman as well.
Whoa! Explain.
Well, obviously, I'm a physical medium. That means I will work with energy because it's the greatest force out there when it comes to the paranormal field.
Sure.
And once you connect to that energy using your guides to assist you, your spirit guide, then obviously you build that energy up, and with the people you're with, and I'm not teaching you to suck eggs, you know how it works.
No, but not everybody at home does. That's the thing.
No, yeah, of course. And once we build up that energy and everyone's phone's drained and their torches have gone out, then we start communicating with spirit. And we all have this ability, but the problem is our minds are full of clutter, and this is why children have the imaginary friends. They're talking to them.
Right now, okay, let's just, I hear that. Hopefully everybody at home, that kind of made sense to them too. One thing that a lot of people don't understand, and you had a conversation with the gentleman who lost his legs, who had been in the helicopter when you were there. Why do spirits then stay in dark places? Let's face it, and I don't know where the lieutenant was from, but I'm fairly sure his town, village, house, the home that he had with his family or girlfriend or wife, surely that would be a better place if he was going to haunt anywhere than stay on the helicopter in a hangar of a museum. Why was he still there, do you think?
I would go down the route of psychometry, and this is where energy attaches itself to much loved items. Your granddad's war medals gets passed down through the family, and a medium will actually read the energy from these medals and make that connection with granddad.
Right.
So this helicopter, remember, his end of days weren't in the helicopter because the helicopter wouldn't be there in the museum, would it? It'd be on a scrap heap.
Right.
This gentleman had so much connection with this helicopter in his flying days. And remember, this actually pulled people off the ship which was bombed in the Falklands Islands.
Right.
So you had all that trauma, all that injury, all that death, and emotions like that leave a footprint in time, and this is what we call residual energy.
Right.
And in some cases, intelligent energy, like your chandeliers floating in the room in the last clip.
Right.
This is where spirit will either interact with you, or it'll let itself know it's there because of the stone tape theory.
So what did the man have to say, though, when the dead lieutenant?
He was very protective of this helicopter. His energy was there. I believe his name was, oh God, wasn't that? It was about 5 years ago now.
Right, I know, no worries.
Something similar
But he
to
mentioned,
Bartholomew.
he mentioned the name. What else do you discuss with spirit then?
Well, not all spirits will communicate directly with you, and this is why some people will see a medium. It looks like they're talking to someone else to the side, and they're using the energy of the spirit guides to assist.
Right.
So some have stronger energy than others, and this is where the EVPs and the audio voice phenomena comes through, and others will, just to say, get that message through. And it's not always audible, it could be symbolic. But a medium will see things like a jigsaw, piecing it together and trying to.
Gotcha. Again, just perfect person to talk to on a night of Halloween. Yeah. The other question that I'd like to ask is, I've spoken to a lot of people who are mediums or claim to be mediums, because they not all are. And they're very swift to say, "Oh, I've got a spirit guide." 9 times out of 10, they're a Native American who may well never have been able to speak English in the first place, but in spirit they can. Why do you need a spirit guide to talk to a spirit if you're already talking to a spirit, because your spirit guide is in spirit, if that makes sense?
I genuinely believe, Alan, that a spirit guide, some will call him a guardian angel, is assigned to you from birth. So when you step foot onto this earth plane, you will have someone there who you may or may not connect with through your life path. If you become that spiritual person and open up these things, and in my case, my mum and my grandma were spiritual people, then we go searching for this person, this spirit guide. Right. And the reason being is, and I'm not going to go down the word demonic here, but why would you open yourself up to spirit without protection? Because you wouldn't switch on a £2,000 laptop without having a good antivirus software on there, would you?
Right.
You want to protect that. So before any person who wishes to choose this path of mediumship or connecting with spirit, then they need to have that firewall around them. And what best firewall to have around them is someone which has already been assigned to them. Not everyone will connect to a spirit guide. Not everyone has the ability, and it's all down to development. It's how you progress in your spiritualism, in your development as a medium.
Now, just finally, Neil, thank you for that. You wanted to mention Chillingham too. What about Chillingham?
So a couple of years ago, I jumped on a roadshow with a good friend of mine who was touring with the most famous haunted picture in the world, or the painting, and it was known as the Anguished Man, and it still is. If you type in the Anguished Man on Google, it'll appear. It's on YouTube. There's a film being made about it right now.
Right.
And we came to Chilean Castle. We set up, as you would, as a paranormal event, and myself and another medium, we did a mediumship night with the energy from this picture. Now, it said that the pictures was painted by an unknown person, but he used his blood to paint the picture, or some of his blood to paint the picture.
Right.
Therefore, his DNA would be implanted into the canvas of this picture.
Mm-hmm.
And as we talk about psychometry and things attached to things,
Mm-hmm.
and it was made clear that this person had painted this picture whilst he was in a concentration camp. So a lot of energy and trauma went into this picture,
right.
and the man cutting himself and self-harming himself. And if you get this picture up on Google, you'll know you can see that trauma in the picture straight away.
Right.
It looks like the person being strangled. So we start working with this energy and using the people in the room. We were asking for certain things to happen as you would do on a paranormal event.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to prove spirit was there, but it was good to show people that we were connecting to spirit.
Right.
And a lot of anomalies happened that night, which you could only put down to paranormal if you didn't believe in this stuff, and paranormal being that unexplainable word.
Sure.
A lot of people saw a dark mass walking around him in the middle of the circle we created.
Right.
And at one point, the picture which was on the easel started to wobble, just like the chandeliers did in the other room.
Right,
It started
right,
to
right.
vibrate, so there was an energy moving it.
Right. Right. So you got some of the similar stuff. Neil, thank you very much for that. Perfect.
You're
For
quite
a
welcome,
Halloween
Alan.
night. Bless you, man. Thanks for coming on. That you're getting mediums. You had all kinds of people on tonight. Let's get some superstars. This is a band called Train.
I have not seen anything, but I've heard things and had a couple odd things happen before.
Like?
Just recently, a few nights ago, me and my fiance were in a hotel, and I was sitting in the bathroom, and clear as day, I heard this voice like kind of singing to me, and it was just kind of like like that sort of thing, and I was like, "What?" Like I literally said, like, "What?" And it did it again. And I was just like, is somebody here? And then like, it really felt like somebody was there. It was just an odd thing.
Yeah.
And then when I walked out to crawl into bed, I told my fiance, and she said, while you were in there, something tugged on the covers.
Come on.
She was laying in the bed, and she's like, and I was
I
like,
have
I wonder if
goosebumps.
they happened at the same time. Like, cause I was in the bathroom
Yeah.
and she said something tugged on the covers. She thought it was me, and she like rolled over, and I was
What
still
town
in
was
the
that
bathroom. It was somewhere where it was in New Orleans. We were in
Yeah,
New Orleans
so,
for the Super Bowl.
Haunted.
Yeah.
That place for
What
sure.
about you guys? Anything?
No, but that story just scared the shit out of me.
This place is amazing, but that smell is horrible, and it's kind of affecting me. What is going on? Are they still moving? Or have they stopped? No, they're moving.
Still moving.
That's ridiculous, because they're heavy, and you'd have to stand on a table to touch. Do you know what I mean? That's just wild.
They're going back and forth in time with the clock. Aren't they?
Kinda. Just what were the noises?
The back one's moving more now. Yeah. Look at it.
That's just crazy. Crazy. What's up there? Oh, that's the church, isn't it? Hey guys, don't forget share videos. Everybody that you know, ask them to share it too. It's the only way we're going to grow, and we would love your help to do that. Please do if you can. We really need to get out there as much as we can. But this is the most scary castle that you could ever be at. We've got Richard, our special guest. We've got Kenny with us, who's already been scared out of his wits down that trail.
Yeah.
We've both been shook. We've got so much more to do, so let's get doing it.
Chapel, did he say? No?
Chapel's there.
Chapel's
Yeah.
up here.
Did you say you were going to
absolutely.
chapel?
Yeah, let's do it.
Richard's got some toys.
They're puppets.
Ow. What a place. Richard's bought a couple of puppets. Not puppets,
Mr. and Mrs.
Poppets. How about that?
Yeah, we've got a couple of poppets here. Oh.
And a
on a
Ouija board.
Yeah.
And here we have the images of Christian goodness around us. This was considered a place of betrayal because they surround themselves with Christian artifacts while they're murdering and killing and destroying Scottish people just for being Scottish. And that's pretty much how it was. Now, we were told earlier when we were talking to Mark, who does the ghost tours here, that these lights, they're electric lights, and they've been coming on by themselves lately. So that may happen tonight. We will absolutely find out. Wow, what a place this is, mind. I'm going to set this up because you've got one next door, so I'll put one out here.
Anybody?
The spirit of Ellen that can do it. Yeah.
At least them chandeliers aren't moving. No, they're not moving.
Two skeletons were found up there, you know.
Just up here?
On the floor here. Oh!
What's that? Has he fell?
Is he alright?
Oh, God. Alan?
Doesn't sound so good yet.
He's just fallen down the steps.
Ah, dear.
He fell.
Oh, yeah.
Says it's all right, lad, but he might have to check in.
Ah, dear.
No.
Oh,
The
dear.
weather's a bang as well, so.
Oh, shoot.
You know, toast, you know, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just came down to check on Christine. Oh, shoot.
That's, I nearly fell down there before. It's pitch black, isn't it?
Oh, dear.
Oh, you hit your leg?
Yeah, my knee kind of. No, it's all right. Give us a hand.
Sure?
Yeah.
Want to
Oh,
sit
hang on.
down?
No, hang on. Just give us a second. Give us a second. Come on. Go, 2, 3. Thank you.
You sure? Turning your leg?
Yeah. Oh, dear.
No, God.
That's all right. My fault. My fault for walking away without the torch. Right, come on. Mark was saying that some people had been pushed downstairs. I just walked down a few stairs and I can't say for sure that I was pushed, but we had a child spirit called Eleanor before. Oh, hello. Eleanor. Are you following us, Ellen? Are you playing? Oh, it's Eleanor. That'll take somebody's head off. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
That wasn't you.
No, not sound like that.
Oh, whatever's there, we're not letting it in.
Any spirits at all in the room? If you could give us a flash to let us know. Do you have a surname, John?
Oh my God. What actually was that? What was that?
What's your name? Not you. You notice that there's like a male voice that's dominating.
This is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Call 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Keep on calling. We have Matthew from Newcastle upon the Tyne. Let's go and talk to him. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Alan Walker. You all right, mate? Hello.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, Alan. I went out with Ian last Wednesday because he was at his funeral on Wednesday, so I went out with him on Tuesday because he lost somebody very close to him called Doreen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know. But he's on holiday. I'm saying, Alan, I've had a good week. I enjoyed the Halloween things. They've been pretty good, you know what I mean?
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get dressed up?
Yeah, I did. I dressed up with Michael Jackson. I did. Did you have a good time, Alan?
Well, I did, absolutely. I've had a nice Halloween, thanks to you lot and everybody that's called, yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying. Yeah, so Ian took me out and last Tuesday he did, bless him. That was nice of him.
Well,
I'm saying, yep. I'm saying, Alan, do you think it's going to rain tomorrow, by the way?
It's possible. It's been a lousy week.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance of rain tomorrow. I don't want it to, though. I'd love a nice, peaceful week. That'd be nice.
I'm saying, Alan, can the people who host this radio season, can I not give you a Tuesday and a Sunday night? Or do you not want to do it?
I've already got a Sunday night. And I'm doing the program online on a Tuesday, kind of. A thing called the debrief or the blah. So we're quite busy, but that's good to know.
Yep. I'm saying, Alan, three more things. I'm saying, and did you hear about that woman who got killed on the movie set?
Yeah, awful.
That was shocking, that.
Terrifying.
Yep. What I don't get, Alan, about do you think the man's going to be prosecuted for it if he had the gun in his hands? You know what I mean?
I don't think so, because it was a prop gun that shouldn't have been able to kill. But over the years, back in the 1940s and 50s, there was a couple of occasions where people had guns that they'd turned from real guns into fake guns by removing all of the gadgetry that would propel a bullet. But they used to put padding in. Pieces of paper down the end.
Yeah.
And what sometimes happened was those tiny little shreds came out of the gun so hard that the paper went inside people's skins and it killed them too. Ooh, so there is a history of this kind of thing. Yeah. I would have loved to have thought, though, that in modern day movies, with all of the checks that they would normally have, that it would never happen. But I did feel sorry for the family, obviously, but I felt sorry for Alec Baldwin, because he said Alec Baldwin, he was out with the lady the night before having dinner. So there was a friendship there. So he's hurt his own friend, which must be an awful thing to have to live with.
I'm saying, I do feel sorry for Alec Baldwin, but should he be allowed to continue with the movie or not?
I think that's what she probably would have wanted, because she was working on it too. So I understand. Yeah. I think the movie should be a tribute to her, and I hope that I'm sure that's what they'll do with it. But it was an awful thing to happen.
Yeah, I'm saying, Alan, they're bringing Battlefield 42 out next month. I'm looking forward to playing that. That would be something to look forward to.
How many games have you got, Matthew? Blame me, you never stop.
I've got loads of games. I've got the Black Ops Cold War. I bought the Scream operator for Black Ops Cold War, so that's good. The operator, I bought that because I liked it.
Right.
I'm not with Ian on Wednesday because he's on holiday. We'll be back the Wednesday after, but he went to his son's wedding on Wednesday, did gone, so I hope he had a good time.
Right.
I'm saying, Alan, my other points, do you think, have you been to see the new James Bond film yet?
I haven't, but I want to very much.
Yep.
Have you seen it yet?
Saying, Alan, my other point, I'm watching Coronation Street this week, and the lad who killed the lad is going to get his tail caught out. I can't wait till he gets arrested. I'll be laughing. I'll say, there you go, son. You're being caught out. Let the girl go and arrest him.
Right.
I'm saying, Alan, maybe three more things. I'm saying, do you think if somebody kills the MP, should they be arrested? Should they be put in prison for years and years and years?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely, of course.
I don't think if somebody kills somebody and they take their life, like the policeman, that man who killed that woman, he should be completely killed in prison. I think he should. They should let them do it, you know what I mean?
Well, you want the death penalty back, Matthew?
the death penalty back. The death penalty is better for him. You cannot have he's not going to get his freedom back, is he? You know what I mean?
But not if he's dead. That's a given.
I'm saying, Alan, my other point as well. Do you think if you're a radio station, would you cancel night owls? I probably wouldn't. I would just sack the radio station. That's what I would do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to vote for you to be MD then. That's what we'll have to do.
I'll do my shout out. Just shout out to Marion. Do my shout out to Neil. Shout out to Stewie, Stephanie, and anybody who knows me. I'm saying my other point, Alan.
That's
you don't want to...
Enough, Matthew. You're done. Thank you very much for calling.
Good night.
Okay, bye-bye. No, it's just another 3 points. 0191 488 3188. Tons to talk about. We got some amazing clips to share with you too. Let's have one of those. Finding a dead husband attacking his wife.
Well, my husband was extremely violent while he was alive.
Right.
And I managed to get away from him. And as my final punishment for leaving him, he committed suicide.
Right. Yeah.
And a couple of weeks after he died, my son and I were living with my mum in a 3-bedroomed house. Like, her bedroom was in the middle, and I was on the right-hand side of the landing, and my son was on the left-hand side of the landing.
Right.
And we'd gone to bed, and we'd only been in bed about an hour. And my bed lifted off the floor and started banging against the wall.
Whoa.
Now, he was a very big man. He weighed 32 stone.
Jeepers.
Right? And this huge black figure engulfed me, picked up my pillow and tried to suffocate me, right? And I couldn't get away. I was frozen with fear.
Yeah.
I eventually managed to get free, and I ran onto the landing to go into my mum.
Yeah.
And I was petrified. And at the same point that I hit the landing, my son came tearing out of his bedroom. Now, he was 10, just turned 10, tearing out of his bedroom, absolutely petrified, screaming, "Mummy, Mummy, Daddy's just come up through the floor and tried to kill me."
My goodness.
Oh, Dave.
So there is proof, not just proof from you, but proof from him too.
Now, we talk about negative energy. What happens if it comes for you?
Has he come back and shown himself after he died?
I got an awful experience just a few weeks ago, and it wasn't him. I know it wasn't him. I felt someone getting into bed. I felt the quilt cover come up behind us, and I sort of half turned. I wasn't even asleep. And I said, "Is that you? Oh, Brian, is that you? Have you come to see us?" And it was cold. And I said, "Oh, you're cold. Come here, I'll cuddle you in and warm you up." Then all of a sudden, on the top of the head at each side, 2 things stuck up like horns, then the tail at the back. I've never looked out that bed so quick in all my life to switch my bedside lamp on. And I just sat and cried.
Almost as if it was Satan.
That's what I felt. And I said a prayer, protect us, and I've done it ever since.
And what about poltergeists?
I've had things that aren't there talk to us. I've had horrible, gut-wrenching, horrible feelings come over us for no reason at all in the house. It's just things like that going on all the time. I've seen something standing on the stairs looking at us. And tonight I went out for a drink with my next-door neighbour, only to get a phone call while I was in the pub from my girlfriend asking me to come home straight away because there was something in the back room of the house. She was standing at the living room door at the time, and it just sounded like something was absolutely smashing the hell out of the back room.
And what about ghosts where the police actually have to break in?
Went into the sitting room. You think the bomb had dropped in the centre. Washing was thrown all over the place. Coffee table upside down. Cushions were thrown over the floor. And naturally, first thing I thought, oh my God, I've had a break-in.
You've been burgled, yeah.
So I got the police straight out. So the constable was sitting on the settee. Facing him, I had a long sideboard by the window with 2 flower vases on. And he was sitting taking a statement. No sign of a break-in. And just as he lifted his head, one of the flower vases just lifted off the sideboard and come flying across and just missed him. And he up off the settee and ran out. He says, "Pat, it's not an effing policeman you want." He says, "The priest."
And what if your nana suddenly appears in the area that you see spirit more commonly? And that's in the mirror.
my son seen my mum in the living room mirror. He would been sleeping on the settee and he woke up. It was 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And he said he just seen a head and her shoulders. And he said she looked exactly the same as in hospital, but she didn't look ill.
Right,
You know?
right, yeah.
He said she never spoke. She just looked at him and then vanished.
How great is that, though? I mean, first of all, if you put the two things together, it's amazing.
Like, how can they come to one person? Like, why did she not come to me, kind of thing, you know? Why
Well,
to
the fact-
him? But
The fact is, she may have come to you. You may well have been asleep, or maybe she sent a sign that you didn't pick up on, and she spent a day or a night or an evening in and around the house, close to the people that she loved before heading on her way. I mean, who knows? It's not an exact science. But we want your stories right now. Chris is waiting for you. Let's get busy. 0191 488 3188. Have you had a ghostly experience of your own? Or have you had any kind of message or signal sent to you from the other side? We've heard very symbolic things. Have you seen someone that you love who's passed over? Call us now. Halloween on Alan Robson's Night Owls, Greatest Hits Radio Northeast.
Greatest.
What a cool bar this must have been. This whole place is a maze. It's been knock it out. Just spend a bit of time here trying out our new night vision camera. Don't know whether you'll pick anything up. Can't do this live because we're below ground. And I remember, back in the day when just heard a noise to the right hand side, like a kind of noise, just here. I remember when I used to be able to sit down here in the bar with your arm around your best girl and have a canoodle and nobody would, just felt something like, it's just aware. The whiskey's in a jar and the money in the bank, it says. That's the lady's Nelly. Sometimes it's best to just shut up. See if there's anything here. Did you catch that noise, Tony? It was like a second now.
Where from?
Just like the floor, it was almost like a dragging noise.
Because I can hear the cars up there.
Come through here.
I am literally. It's a wire. That's a wire. Just hit us on the head. Because I can only see the screen, so it's like I'm guessing where I'm going.
Well,
I can
careful.
see.
There's a thing hanging down here that's
right.
It says danger, electrics, don't touch it. And there's little bits around here. Fortunately, the darkness is my friend. There's all kinds of little tunnels under here because it's down here where there's a lot of bodies buried directly beneath the floor, which is why there's a very good chance that we'll see stuff. I'm getting flashing here. Is that?
That's your mic.
Does it flash all the time? Does it?
Yeah.
I've never been.
We're only 8 weeks in. You've never noticed, so.
But mind you, I don't pay any attention. Yeah, through here it's just light. See, it's down here. If you come around with a night vision, Just look in the darkness of the corner and see what you can see. Because it's through that wall, especially this back part. On the other side of the wall, there's another wall, and beyond that, thousands of dead bodies from a massive cemetery. And occasionally you hear scratching because some people that went in there to steal and rob found themselves getting bricked in. Some people say they're still in there trying to get out somehow, and you hear the scratching noises. I heard like a dragging noise earlier from. You've got to watch your heads as well, because a lot of these are very, very.
There's orbs here. Lots of orbs. Look at this.
Well, that's the wall where.
You see them flying around the screen?
Flashing. Oh, there's all kinds.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
And they're not going. They're going in. They're whizzing around in loads of directions. Those are.
Well, that's the wall where the bodies are.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. And we're not moving like to disturb. Do you know how many people who say dust? And they're travelling too fast to be dust.
See if I can move
Get
in.
a bit closer.
I'll move into where the orbs are.
Absolutely.
Just see that I'm not gonna. I am gonna bang into something because there's a crate down there. So.
For sure.
Look at them. They're still going.
Amazing. And they're travelling too quick to be any kind of dust. They're rocking, aren't they? They're coming from the wall.
That one just came down and then went back up. That is just crazy.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Welcome back, and we have a third clue for you. Now, have you managed to work out the name of the artist, the singer, the band, whoever it may be, performing hits that I have given you clues towards? Here's your first three. A roll in the what, you idiot. A roll in the what, you idiot. Second clue, what all politicians want to get. Gives you the name of a song. Third clue, cyanide, ricin, or strychnine, maybe. Okay? Cyanide, ricin, or strychnine, maybe. 3 clues down, 1 more clue to come, and you'll get that in the next 20 minutes or so. So hang on in there, if you will be so kind. Right, let us dive into our next caller. We're going to Stockers. We're going to Stocksfield, where we find Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Alan, you all right?
Yes, good man. What story you got for us tonight?
Well, it's not my story, it's my wife's story. She recently went to one of these cycle evenings at the local pub.
Right.
You know, the kind of thing that goes round the pubs. And
yeah.
She went in there as a complete skeptic, but she was the first one that got picked on.
Oh.
And the lassie said, I've got Kathleen. She was your nana, wasn't she? And well, that's what we went. My wife's nana was called, and she said, yeah. But then she started going into minute details about the circumstances around her nana's death.
Wow, right.
Which were correct.
And this,
then she
was
said,
this in a room full of like 100 or 50 other people, I'm guessing?
About 30 other people. My wife went with her best friend, about 30 other people.
Right, okay.
And then she said, when your mum cleared the house out after your nana died, there was some letters. Your nana wants you to see these letters that were written, love letters from the 1940s.
Oh, wow.
And my wife knew nothing about these letters. And then she went into details with my wife's relationship with her mother. And then she said, you've got 2 kids of your own. Your daughter's going to be a proper mummy's girl. And you lost one when you were moving into your house, which is accurate. And it was only me, my wife, and the doctor knew that.
Wow.
No one would never told anybody that.
Right.
But afterwards, my wife spoke to her mother about 3 or 4 days later and said, when you cleared Nana's house out, there's some letters about a triangle. And my mum said, yeah. And she dug the letters out and had a look at the letters, and it was all about how our Nana had not been able to marry her love of her life. She had to marry somebody else.
Oh, whoa.
And that's what the triangle was. But the details that this medium had gone into about these letters was spot on.
Yeah, because I was going to say, we're used to people say, well, is there a David here? Or does the name John mean anything?
Well, that's what we were thinking, yeah.
Yeah. But she was very precise. And that thing about the child was not guessable.
There's nobody knew. There was only me and my wife. We never told our parents about that because it was upsetting them. We didn't want to upset them. So it was only me, my wife, and the doctor knew about that.
Amazing, amazing.
Strange.
So she went out
Very
to
strange.
she went out to skeptic, but she came back in something quite different then.
Yeah, she said she was spot on. Everything she said was spot on. She doesn't know how she knows. I've got my own theory, and I don't believe that speaking to dead people. I think there's like a universal consciousness that people can tap into or something like that.
Hey,
You know, like
everything's possible, man. Absolutely.
like the Botanic Encyclopedia on that in the ether somewhere.
But if you bundle it all together into the unexplained, it's still damn fascinating. That's the thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She wanted to go and see her and her best friend because she picked on her best friend next and got details spot on about her as well. So they wanted to go and see her again with a private reading at some point.
No, tremendous. Be interesting. Hey, good talking to you. Thank you for coming on, Chris.
No problem, Alan. Bye now.
Bye-bye. There's Chris. Have you had a similar experience? And how sure are you that she wasn't reading you, or was she tapping into your universal consciousness? Still an amazing thing to do if they can do it. 01914 488 3188. Room 46 in Lumley Castle.
Like I say, I'm right in the dark, Alan, you know what I mean? And,
Right. But you're going to put yourself in a haunted room.
yeah, I just want to, like, just for the crack, you know what I mean? It'd be something to feed back on you, mate, yeah.
My first memory of room 46, right?
It wasn't one of your wedding nights, was it?
It wasn't. No, you're all right. The thing about room 46 was I went to Lumley Castle late one night. We were doing another show somewhere else. We drove past Lumley Castle and there was obviously a big do on. The place was kicking, you know, they had like a disco and all kinds of stuff going on because they have do's and weddings and what I mean. I went in and I was talking to the guy behind the desk who at that time of night was the night porter, you know, about 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
And he told me that some American guests had arrived and they'd booked in the week earlier. He grabbed the cases and the receptionist said, "Can you take their bags up to room 46? He got to the door, he opened the door of 46 and looked inside. There was somebody in the bed asleep. And he went, "Oh, God, blimey, they've given me the wrong room." So he shut the door up and said to the Americans, "Just wait here. I'll go down and get another key for a different room." He ran down the stairs, said to the woman, "Look, there's somebody in that bed. The room's already taken." The girl said, "There's definitely nobody in that room." So they went back up to the room, opened the door, and there was nobody in the bed. And yet all three of them, the two Americans and the guy, had seen somebody lying on the bed. And the Americans demanded they had to have a different room because they wouldn't sleep in that one. How about that? Great stories. And new houses. You know, people say, "Oh, we only see ghosts in castles and that kind of thing." Ooh, new houses.
All I seen was a shadow walking right in front of us, in front of my fireplace.
Right.
And I looked quickly at the window to see if somebody was walking past.
Yeah.
And there was nobody there. And I looked back and the shadow was still walking past
Oh,
the fireplace.
my goodness. Full on.
It was full on. I've never seen anything like that in here before.
Right.
I don't feel uncomfortable here. There's anything in this house at all.
If you're looking to buy a new house and you're looking in homes, you'll go into a one and you get a feel for it.
I got a feel for this one straight away.
So there'll be
As soon as I
nothing.
walked in.
But because of that, if there had been anything in the house, you wouldn't have felt that way about it. You'd have felt a different kind of feeling. Because I've looked at houses when thinking to buy them and you go, "Oh no, this is dark and a bit nasty. I don't like this." And yet there might be nothing wrong with it. And you might go to a house that's very similar, just it's got a feel about it that you think, "Oh, well, this is an uplifting kind of feeling."
Yeah, well, this definitely had a lovely feeling when I walked in.
Yeah, so anything that's in there, anything that you might be sharing a little bit of space with is obviously not anything that's ever going to do you any harm at all. So
that was just last night when I was listening to the radio.
And you know, there's a song by the Stereophonics that was previously a hit for Rod Stewart, "Handbags and Glad Rags." Have you ever seen a blind man cross the road? Have you ever seen a dead man cross the road?
It was a Saturday afternoon, about 4 years ago, right?
Right.
Saturday afternoon, I'm going through to see him, through Ryab.
Yeah.
2:45 on a Saturday afternoon. I remember it well.
Right.
I come to the zebra crossing in Ryab, and a man was walking across with a little girl who I slightly knew, and I nodded to him, smiled.
Right.
Then I looked to my right to see if anybody else wanted to cross the crossing. And this guy was standing on the edge of the crossing, and I knew this guy, and my first thought was, oh, he didn't die. And I nodded to him, and he smiled back. And then I pulled away, and I watched through the mirror to see what he would do.
Right.
And he still stood at the crossing. He never crossed, but he still stood there. And obviously, I went out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got back to the rank, I said to a couple of guys, oh, I've just seen such and such
Yeah.
this afternoon. And they said, are you on drugs or something? He died a year ago. Now, I've always been a non-believer, me, Alan.
Yeah.
And
That's a hard one to get around, though, isn't it?
I said, I'll tell you what he wore.
Uh-huh.
And I told them what he wore. He had a baseball cap on. And the two lads who said, oh, you're on drugs, said, he always wore those. So it was definitely the lad who I thought it was. Definitely.
Amazing.
That was in mid-afternoon.
There. What's your experience? That's what we want to hear. Pick up your telephone, give us a call, tell us your story. Somebody that's done that is, of course, Julie, who's in Darlow. Hello, Julie.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for calling in.
You good?
What you got for us, Julie?
All it is, I just, it's like an experience, well, not supernatural, but a strange experience that you can't explain, but of a nice nature.
Right.
You know, not one of these horrible ones.
Right.
I lost my father when I was quite young, I was about 18, 19.
Right.
And I've had sort of, like, since then experiences where, a song will come on the radio, but it'll be at a really significant moment.
Right.
And I think, well, that's a bit strange. But, you brush it off and you think, I'm just imagining things. That song's, at first I think, well, that song's, it's, somebody's trying to reach out. But then I've just pushed it to one side.
Right.
But what experience that left us without any doubt was, we were, I think a few years ago, my sister was getting married, and we were coming through to her hometown the night before in the car, and she was going to have as a first dance song "Wind Beneath My Wings," and for some reason, just as we were pulling up to, the house where I was going to be staying, at my mother's house, I decided to say to her, like, "Wind Beneath My Wings" song, oh, how does that go? I don't know why I asked her that, because I know how it goes. So I just turned around to her and I said, oh, yes, you're having that song, how does it go? She turned around and she says, like this. And I thought, what's she on about? And she looked at the radio, and at that second it had come on the radio.
What's the chances of that? That's wild.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
it's weird, isn't it, Alan? And that just left us with no doubt that he was trying to communicate. That's all. And I don't know if he was. I don't know what the message was. Whether he was trying to tell my sister he was with her, or whether he was trying to allay my doubts about it. Saying, you want to believe this because it's true, sort of thing. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, did it make you feel better?
Not particularly. No, I mean, I wasn't. He was the one that was nervous, not me.
No, but what I mean was that when you heard that at that precise moment, did it make you feel closer to your dad that you'd lost?
Oh, that these songs were actually him trying to communicate.
Yeah. If it meant nothing to you, it didn't work. And if it didn't work, he's wasting his time. If it meant something to you. If it meant something to you, you'll have felt it, and you'd have felt warmed by it, surely.
Yeah, I think it allayed any doubts that it was him trying to communicate. So, because the chances of that, Alan, like you say, at that very moment, that I'd said, "How does it go?" and the song comes on the radio as if to say, "This is how it goes." Hello, you know. But we were quite a musical family. He was quite musical. I played the clarinet, and I'm quite musical. So we did have that in common. So it's music, you know, I don't know.
It was just a special moment. Well, thank you very much for that, Julie. Unexplained, absolutely. Thank you for calling in. There was a thing that happened, you know, because I think spooky things do happen at the strangest times. Back in the day, on a previous radio station, early days, early days, I used to play an awful lot of, I know a lot of people forget this, but early doors, I used to play an awful lot of music on Night Owls. At first, we used to have a first hour was all music and then get into calls. And from that, I decided to take out about 3/4 of the music and just play the odd track. But odd was the word. They were not playlisted. They were anything that you guys had asked for. And certain tracks I only ever played once in my entire career for somebody. And this is where it gets creepy. This was a time of vinyl, right? LPs, long-playing records, 33 1/3 RPM. You had to put them on a gramophone. Blimey, how ancient does that sound these days? You had to put the needle on the precise groove and wind it back and forth until you got it to the exact moment, then press the button. So it was a faff just to put in place, not digital or anything. So I'm talking to a caller, and this caller was telling me how he'd lost his wife the day before, and he was not coping very well, and he needed to talk to somebody, so he rang me. And we chatted about how lovely his wife was and how he missed her and how she was amazing and incredible. And then he said, if you possibly could one day, I'd love you to play a request for her. And I said, of course I will. And he said, but it's a track that you probably never heard of, and it's not the kind of music that you would normally play. And I said, what was it? And he said, I'll Walk with God by Mario Lanza. Now, that's pretty out there. The track that I had on the record player to my right-hand side was I'll Walk with God by Mario Lanza. What's the chance of that? Incredible. Let's talk to Simon. He's in Peterlee. Hi, Simon.
Hey, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm good, my friend. Thank you for ringing. What are you talking about tonight?
Well, it's a couple of things, but I've just had a bit of a freaky moment there when you just said about Mario Lanza, I'll Walk with God.
Right. Why?
And that is the song that my lass that I'm with now, she once played at her funeral.
You see how spooky just happens? It's the weirdest thing. How crazy is that? Wild. Right. And that wasn't the reason you called. So what was? But thank you for that. That's just brought the goose pimples up a bit.
Yeah, it was actually Boris and how much we don't have any faith in his belief in changing the environment and the COP26.
Right. We just had a guy on before saying Britain's doing better than most countries in changing things. Why do you think Boris is doing a bad job then?
Well, you just have to look at his face when he speaks, and he just has this wry smile on his face.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the kind of look that means, well, I'm telling you this, but you don't have to believe me because it's probably not true. But didn't everybody know that before they voted him in? I mean, he did that thing with a bus saying that the NHS was going to get a fortune when it got nothing. They're not even giving nurses a rise after what they've been through with the lockdown. Surely people know that politicians lie, and he's made a career out of it, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I just don't understand how that people still believe that he thinks he can deliver.
Right. You're not so sure.
No, not at all.
But is there anybody else
I mean,
that could take the job from him then? Because we had people like Keir Starmer wanting to take it for Labour.
Mhm.
Has he got what it takes, do you think?
No, I don't think he has.
Right.
I just think when you had a report from the UN that said we have to do things better and quicker by 2030, which, I mean, that's a bit of an arbitrary year.
Pick a number that's far enough away for us to be able to forget about it by then, is what that number is.
Yeah. And then you have Japan, which is a country that have no natural resources. And then Saudi Arabia and Australia, who obviously export huge amounts of fossil fuels, gas, coal, and they want to water down the report so that they don't have to help things along.
Right. I hear what you say. It's an unsettling time, but for the last few years, I think rather the more control that government took, the more sceptical people seem to get. I don't know whether you found that too, but I've certainly found that. And once again, over the last, I can't, hand on heart, I wish I could say, oh, but you remember when such and such was in power, they did such a good job. I can't remember anybody that I could say that about. And how awful is that? Because, you hear stories about, in France, they not at the moment, but we loved President Mitterrand. We thought he was amazing. I can't look back at British politicians and say, oh, but you remember when? There's just nothing. They always seem to whittle on the northeast. That even the people that the prime ministers that came from the northeast managed to weigh on the rest of us up here, and they didn't care about Scotland, and such is the case again right now. So maybe nothing changes.
My brother lives in France, and he's lived in France for a number of years now.
Right.
And I actually had a phone call with him a couple of days ago, and they just call Boris out there Le Clown, which is
clown.
Yeah.
Right.
And they have absolutely no respect for him. I went to, as you know, I like live music.
Yeah.
I went to a gig a few weeks or so ago, and I was talking to a Dutch couple that came to follow or see a band. They followed all over Europe, and they have the same opinion of Boris. He's just Le Clown.
Yeah, I've spoken to people abroad, and they all say he's a joke. Is he serious? Kind of the way that a lot of people talked in Britain talked about Trump. Like, how the hell did he get that job? And I can understand it because of his demeanor. He looks the nearest thing to one of his spitting image puppets. Do you know, and that's a horrible thing to say, but he does. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I've never warmed to him. I've always thought he's an upper class twit. And there's a few of them about, Rees-Mogg and Gove, and they're all the kind of people that we would never meet because we didn't go to a school that cost more money than we make in a lifetime. Do you know what I mean?
And I watched last night on ITV the Halloween special of Spitting Image.
All right. Uh-huh.
And it was just as it was in the 80s.
That's funny.
And it reflected the whole of the political class.
Yeah. Sad, isn't it, though? It's sad because I want to believe in a politician that wants to help ordinary people. I don't want somebody
change the world
and do everything better rather than what we seem to be getting, which is a constant spiral on how to make people that don't have very much have less and let the people that have got the most get more. That to me, it's sinful in this day and age. It really is.
I've actually, with obviously the advent of the COP26, I actually went online and I looked out, because for me, I don't believe in the heat pumps the money that they're putting into it is not going to be enough to help things along. And I actually looked online about the price of solar panels and domestic wind turbines.
Yeah.
And it's a few £100 for a 5 kilowatt, not megawatt, 5 kilowatt, which is enough to run a household.
Yeah.
And it's a couple of £100, and yet they're trying to push, we're doing £5,000 grant for a heat pump, which is it's nonsense.
Well, I saw an article in one of the newspapers over the weekend saying, I got the grant, I got the heat pump, and now we've got a heating system that makes the house not terribly warm. My son has to sleep with his coat on in bed. We can't afford to run it. And you're thinking, woo, this is the complete opposite of what we were told. So is the answer not go back to buying one of these, proper wind turbine for every house, and everybody doesn't have to pay any electricity bills anymore? Generate your own. Seems to be the way, doesn't it?
That for me would be, if you had domestic wind turbine and a couple of solar panels, it would help things along, and it would release it would release the grip of the energy companies on everyone else's naggers.
That was the last word I expected to end that sentence. But thank you very much, Simon. Great to hear from you. Thanks for ringing in.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Yeah. Came out of the blue, that one. 01914 488 3188. What hit you in the face, Alan? I got ambushed by a pair of... anyway, let's move on. 01914 488 3188. What is the most vivid description of something ghostly?
You can't see your face, Gemma.
So the ghost has long blonde hair. Can't see your face. Is she dressed? I mean, how is she dressed?
Yes, she's got... Hang on a minute, Alan, I'll just get her in. She describes you like Jonah.
Yes, no, stick her on. Let's have a word, definitely.
Julie. Hang on, Alan, 2 seconds. She just... These Jonas, but you see it's the match. Come here.
The ghost in Jim Jams.
I'll tell you what, Alan, I'm going to put her on.
You do.
She doesn't want to because she's very nervous, but anyway, I'm going to make...
You do.
Force her mind at ease.
I will, certainly.
Hello.
Hello, darling. So, you can see this clearly. Is it see-through or is it solid?
It's solid.
It's solid. And how is this apparition dressed?
She's got joggers on.
Right.
Long blonde hair, but no face.
Right. And do you always see her in the same place, or could she be anywhere in the house?
Well, what it is me husband works night shift.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've got 2 teenage daughters. Right?
Yeah.
And one of them stays out alternative nights.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And what it is, she comes in the door, the bedroom door.
Right.
Right? And she walks towards me youngest daughter, which is 16. Right?
Yeah.
And then she comes round to the other side of the bed, because my youngest daughter stays with us.
Right.
In that room.
Yeah.
She looks at me, and then she walks back round to my youngest daughter, and then she walks out the room.
Right. And she's never caused any concern other than just being there?
Yes.
She hasn't thrown anything around or caused anything like that?
No.
Right, okay. Are you aware of anything that's happened in the house previously? Did anybody die there? Was the house owned by someone that lost a child who might well have answered that description?
Not that I know of.
Not that you found out anything of. Right.
No.
Okay.
How about that? Dave's with us. He is in Sunderland. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Alan.
Hello there. What you got for me tonight, David?
Can I just say about an experience I had quite a few years back when I was at school?
Of course you can, yeah. What happened?
Years ago, I was getting picked on of some bully.
Right.
And it was making me life a misery and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through a low point at the time.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about killing myself or doing something to the bully, like stabbing him and that.
Right, no.
Right. And one day he was waiting for us out at the school gate.
Mm.
And he said, was your mum called Doreen Motherseal? Right.
Right.
And I'd lost her when I was 6, Alan, and I never even told him her name and that.
And was that a name?
Yeah.
Oh wow, my goodness! And
So
you,
it's like she was
lost her
watching
when.
out for us.
So what?
Yeah.
Oh, on the other side, you mean she's looking out for you? Oh, that'd be a
Yeah.
lovely thing for her to do. And what happened to you when you were 6? Did your dad bring you up then?
My dad brought us up and married my stepmom.
Right. So he found new love.
Yeah.
Right. My goodness, how about that? So
So I
can
always
you
remember that.
remember? Can you remember your blood mother?
A bit, yeah.
It just gets harder over the years, doesn't it?
It does.
To remember the voice and remember the face and stuff. But that's sweet to think that she's on the other side keeping an eye out
She
for
used
you.
to sing songs in it, and I've still got a cassette recording. I was singing loads of songs in it.
Oh, that's great. That's a stunning thing to have in your possession. That's cool.
I'm thinking we're getting it turned into a CD.
Yeah, absolutely. Get it on your computer or on your phone so it's with you forever. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be a good thing to do. Anything else then, David?
I've been getting some more DVDs, Alan.
Oh, like what?
I've been getting The Man from Atlantis.
All right, yeah, Patrick. I saw that on the telly with these lycra tights on, flapping his legs about. Yeah, the business. Classic.
And I've been getting The Italian Job with Michael Caine.
The original one, with the. There's a great song in that. Brilliant. Yeah, I love it. Excellent. I like the modern version of The Italian Job, mind, because they did a good job of that as well. But the Michael Caine one's the absolute classic with his catchphrase about the doors being blown off and so brilliant.
I love my DVDs. I've got the full collection of The Incredible Hulk and that.
Oh, that's great. No, I love the old school as well. And it's nice to keep a DVD player because when you want to watch a precise movie at a precise time and you can't be bothered to fiddle through, the satellite channel by satellite channel to find one, you just get it out the box, clag, done deal. I'm very old school about certain things. Yeah.
I just got 2 of my brothers today. I got Eye in the Sky. I don't know what that's about.
Right.
And Warrior, a boxing one, a bit like Rocky.
But the thing is, you can buy them usually secondhand. You can buy DVDs really cheap if you go to car booties and what have you.
You can, can't you?
There was one I saw that I was at a booty about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they said 10 DVDs for £1, and you're thinking, really? Because that's nothing, is it? Because they used to be like 10, 11, 12, 13 quid for heaven's sake. So
I prefer having a physical copy.
Yeah, I know. I know it's old-fashioned, but I know a lot of people that they're getting into vinyl again. Others are getting into cassettes. I'm still old-school CD, but it's the same principle. You want something in your hand that you can read it. You have a look in a little book. You can do all of that. It's not the same when you just go to an anonymous computer and go, and there it is.
I'll tell you what else I bought, Alan. It never took off.
What's
I
that?
bought a digital compact cassette deck.
Right. Yeah, I made a similar mistake. I was one of the people that had audio discs, laser discs I went for, and every film was about 25 quid, which is just crazy. And then they stopped making them, which is even crazier because then you're stuck with this thing that doesn't work. So, no, I made a few bad choices. Like all those people that went Betamax instead of VHS.
I've just been getting some video cassettes as well because I still use my video recorder sometimes.
Oh dear, brilliant! That's good.
I've got the Bodyguard. I do. I've got the Bodyguard, Ransom, Cliffhanger.
Yeah, they're all great movies as well. Anyway, got to move on, David. But thank you very much for coming on. No worries. Good talking to you. Do you collect? Do you still have stuff? And everybody says, but you don't need a cupboard for DVDs. And you did, but you don't now because they're all gone. You just need your computer. You just need your satellite, and you don't need a cupboard for your CDs. I do, but so I understand the benefit of not having any of that clot, but I actually quite like the clot. That's the thing. Anyway, time for that clue. Clue number 4. Time for you to ring Chris and tell him the answer because he knows, don't you? No. He's shaking his head to the negative. A roll in the what, you idiot? What song is that about? Second clue. What all politicians want to get. What song would that fit? What all politicians want to get. Third clue, cyanide, ricin, or strychnine, maybe. What are they all? And the fourth clue, this happens around 3:30 to 4 o'clock, Monday to Friday. Okay? This happens around 3:40 to 4 o'clock, Monday to Friday. For your kids. What is it? Okay? This happens around 3:30 to 4 o'clock, Monday to Friday, for your children. What is it? 4 songs. Call now. 0191 488 3188. I've got to play a song just so I can tell Chris the answer. Night vision. Right, Tony. Now, the horrible thing is, I'm going right down there. Right down in the bowels of the theatre, into the actual pit, where, I mean, you can't see it, but back there is the wall directly beside the cemetery where the, if you could get to the opposite side, Kenny, then you'll be able to see me go down the little narrow stairs.
I'll just check it's on. 1 sec.
Please do.
Okay.
It's got pause on here.
That's if you want to pause it.
If you want
The
to
red
pause it.
means it's recording.
Right, well, the problem is, Kenny, you're going to have to put the torch on the stairs.
There's loads of cobwebs in that line.
I know.
You're not going down there.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Seriously? Look at the narrowness of those I don't know if stairs. you should go down there, mate.
I've got to go down. Oh,
That
I
is
just
too narrow,
just broke a
mate.
cobweb as well. That's not
too
good.
narrow.
How wide do you think I am?
No, I don't mean that. I mean, the steps are really bad for getting up and down.
Well, he is one-handed. Made a remark that was slightly rude before and he got chastised for it, so shan't be doing that again.
No.
This is
Please be careful. You saw what happened to me there.
yeah. Somebody on the thing, I just noticed one saying he's drunk, and he's not drunk.
I've not had a drink for 30 odd years, so.
There you go. Not everybody that knows him drinks.
Yeah.
Right. This is in the pitch black. Don't know how much we'll be able to. I'm seeing orbs already on the screen, Tony.
Oh God.
Yep. There's stuff down here. Oh, you bugs. Thank you. Now, I have no light. I'm just feeling. Oh, past the cobweb. This is where little Billy died. Oh, wow, just under my feet. There's still a way to go. Oh, there's more stairs. There's more stairs down further.
You're joking.
No. No handrail on this one, no. Cut up? No, I'm just feeling my way in the dark. Ow. Just feeling my way best I can. This is ridiculous. Just feeling, ow. Little bit. Oh. Oh. Down. Thanks, mate. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff happening here.
Yes, the recording from the camera Alan's got will go on the supporters
Oi,
page.
oi, 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 oi. Oh, cheapers! Something's just white walked right in front of me. Something white. I hope I caught it. Does the camera catch everything down here?
Just whatever you're pointing it at. So
Yeah,
if you
right.
look-
Well, yeah.
Check on the screen, see what you're pointing at. Hopefully.
I don't know what I'm pointing at. I'm going across to
Yeah,
where.
this video will go in the supporters group.
This is the wall where.
Sorry, I can't
Oh,
catch
God,
it.
there's
I don't know where
holes
he
in
is.
the wall. Can we see any bodies? There's holes in the wall. Oh, jeebus. This isn't funny. Oh, come to it. I don't know what this is. Can you point the torch over to this side over here? I'm in the bottom corner.
Your left, as far left as you can go. I'm at that wall. I think so. No, I'm over here. Far wall. Yeah, that's where. But I'm in the corner opposite. Try and light it if you can. Oh, God. I'm directly underneath the machinery here. No, I'm okay. I'll move to the middle.
I've got you. I'll get you on screen.
I'm getting orbs. Also got me like a little camera. I just want to see how I can get up to this next bit. Oh, there we go. Oh, hell's bells. There's loads of rubbish and they're in like little tunnels. But there's the holes. And there's another one over there. I don't know whether I can't get to it from here, but maybe I can climb on. Can I get my leg up there? Oh, hang on. Cobwebs and stuff on the wall, that's nasty. Hang on, is there an easier way? I have to put the light. Oh, jeepers. Ah, it's nasty down here. Hang on, I'm going to... Oh! Sorry about that. Did it. I'm up. I'm in one. This is the wall where we've got to look for a bit of... Oh, where's my torch again?
Alan Robson's Night Owls.
The phone in that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And we are getting straight into the calls. A lot of people ringing in with the answers for the quiz. Do it now. You will have one more chance before the end of the show. But we got Kenny, who's with us in Gateshead. Hiya, Kenny.
Hi, Alan. You all right, mate?
Yes, good, mate. What you got for me?
It's on the theory of the ghost stories. It's not so much a ghost story, but you were saying before about you being contacted by someone who's passed.
Yes.
It actually wasn't me. It was my wife.
Right.
My mum passed about 8 years ago.
Right. I'm sorry for that.
And she had a lot of bother with osteoarthritis.
Right. Yes.
You know, she had bad joints, but her knees were really, really bad.
Right.
When she used to get up, it was like when she stood up and her knees locked together, it was like two bits of wood knocking together. You know, and it was really painful and whatever.
Yeah, but...
Anyway, it wouldn't have been 12 months after my mum passed. One bed, anyway, when we got up in the following morning, my wife had said, I've had a wild dream. I said, what happened? She says, my mum used to wear like a black, she's only little, but she used to wear like a black quilted jacket with a fur collar with a little belt round.
Right,
You know.
Yeah.
And anyway, she says, I dreamt I was in this marketplace or this place that was a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I was walking down and my mum's name was Nan, but they called her Nan. Anyway, she says to herself in the dream, that looks like Nan. You know, the coat, she recognised the coat in the hair, which was like with her back to her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden in the dream, this woman turned around and walked up and she says, it was your mum. She goes, hello, Nan, are you all right? And she says, tell Ken that my knees is fine.
Oh, what?
And then she woke up.
How cool is that? Just to let you know that on the other side, she's
fine,
walking all right. She's none of the problems that she had this side.
No. But she was always in pain. She never moaned or moaned about it, you know. She was always in pain. But her knees were terrible. She always had problems with her knees.
Yeah, arthritis is an awful thing.
Just weird, you know. And it put my mind at ease, you know what I mean? I know like that's just there because I'm a bit of a skeptic. You know what I mean? I've never seen a ghost and things like that. But so when something like that happens to you, I think it makes you think a little bit.
Yeah, and also if your wife was just going to have like a standard dream, like we all dream, we have, because there's two types of dreams. There's like a superficial dream, you know, you've been watching a film like The Bourne Identity, and you go to bed and you dream that you're shooting people and you know that all that kind of stuff. You can have superficial dreams, but the heavyweight vivid dream is the one that usually has a meaning or an interpretation. And the fact, if your wife was going to dream about your mum, she'd probably have dreamt about something that she'd done with her, while she was here, or I remember the time she came around, she gave our Kenny a real hard time. Those kind of things. You don't dream, oh, she's come back to tell us that her knees are all right. It's just.
Aye.
That's
not
what it would
the
be.
exact words, Alan, were tell Ken, because I get called Ken, but my mum and dad, and we could all call us Ken.
Right.
And it was that as well, tell Ken.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So
and
it was all.
My knees was tight.
Yeah, but it was all authentic. You felt completely.
Oh,
yeah.
She was honestly. She woke up and she couldn't. She woke us up.
Right.
To tell us.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't believe the dream I've had.
Fantastic.
It was so real.
Yeah, but it's again what I said before. It's if it makes you feel, because if it doesn't make you feel, if some spirit has managed to find a way to get any kind of message through, they've wasted the time unless you feel it. And you felt it, so that's tremendous. Good stuff. Anything else, then, Kenny?
No, but that was it. But as you say, it really made us feel at ease. Yes. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. 100%. Hey,
so Nash is always with me.
That's blessed. You are blessed. Thanks for calling. Good on you,
Thanks.
Ken. Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, mate. Bye-bye.
How nice is that? Tremendous stuff. And we've got so much more to tell you. For example, when your mum comes back from the dead to guide your dad on his way.
And my dad was on his last legs,
Right.
He just wanted to give up, And he was unconscious. And I was sitting with him, and I looked at the top of the room, and I saw my mum up in the corner of the room.
Wow.
And it was like, I said to my dad, look, my mum's waiting for you. And about 10 seconds later, he died,
So it's almost like she came to guide him on his way.
Yeah, basically,
How about that? And things being thrown. We've heard a few stories about stuff being chucked.
Remember you played a tape about the bloke who fell on an electric fire and burned to death?
That's right, yes.
Well, when that was actually playing, I was sitting in bed and shiting myself as normal. And as soon as it finished, my lighter that was beside the radio picked itself up and threw itself across the bedroom.
That's impossible.
It happened.
Those people who don't believe and think that Halloween is just bogus, and there's plenty of them, your lighter picked itself up and threw itself across the room.
It did, yes.
And you're not making that up?
I am not making that up. I'll swear on my grand Ben's life that happened. The exact time that the bloke was like screaming, everything finished, and you just came on and says, no, isn't that scary? The lighter just flew across the bedroom. I locked myself in the bathroom for about a quarter of an hour before I picked up the courage to go back into the bedroom and pick up the phone and phone. Yeah. It was quite scary.
And you got to watch for, even now, maybe in your house, cast your eyes around the room there. Is that a shadow?
I was coming upstairs, and there was suddenly just this shadow there. It didn't appear. It was just there, and it was like pitch black, about 5 foot tall, and it had like a very faint grey fuzzy outline to it.
What did you do?
As soon as I saw it, I just went, whoa! And then it just came flying towards us and actually went straight through me.
What did that feel like?
In a word, terrifying.
Yeah, but...
I mean, I felt a very slight chill as it went through us.
We got 4 clues for 4 songs. A roll in the what, you idiot? What all politicians want to get? Cyanide, ricin or strychnine. And this happens around 3:30 to 4 o'clock every day.